Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on a glorious Monday morning. We are inundated, okay? If you were paying attention over the weekend to the NFL, oh my gosh, so many things happen.
I felt like I was back in the season for some reason. There were so many happenings.
Yeah. Well, it was news every hour, and it did feel like the regular season. Welcome in this morning, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Yeah, it did feel like the regular season because during the regular season, on a Sunday especially, like your phone just keeps buzzing with NFL updates like, this guy scored twice in the red zone on your fantasy team. This guy has a knee injury. Geez, wow, they lost to who? Oh, my gosh, that changes the division. But instead, it was like, wait a second, the Steelers have a new quarterback. Jacksonville has a new quarterback. This guy's retiring. This guy's sticking around. The Buccaneers just re-signed their guy. It was just bomb after bomb after bomb going off, and it was hard to keep up with. So if you, like us, felt overwhelmed, well, just settle in. We've got 3 hours to discuss it, and I don't think we can depart too far from the NFL today, although we will because the Aztecs basketball team, the men's hoops team, is going to be on the run to Vegas. They're going to get ready for that Mountain West Conference tournament. Mark Ziegler wrote an article in the UT covering the whole season, talking about what to expect moving forward. We'll get to that in a little bit. The Padres, they're still getting ready for Korea, but we have some awards to give out already.
Which I get in this morning and Fletch says to me, I think that the first game in Korea is 3 a.m. And I'm like, what? This is why these international games drive me crazy.
Well, this
3 a.m. for the first game of the season?
Back-to-back days, 3:05 a.m. first pitches. And the reason I brought it up, I'm like, well, we're some of the only people who are up this early and functional.
I was going to say, like, we're actually going to catch a good amount of this
yeah,
game, guys.
it's prime for us.
I mean,
if you guys want to get in early and do some hot dogs or something, 3:05 a.m.
It's not a terrible idea. Can we tailgate?
Like, can we
Padres game?
Like make a really nice dinner? We should tailgate in the parking lot beforehand, like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. tailgate?
I'm down.
Okay,
I'll bring
on.
the flamethrower.
Wait, what day? What day is it again?
I forget.
The 20th is the first one. The 21st is the second one.
Like
and I have this
Thursday?
theory that
right.
on the 20th, everyone in San Diego is going to be up and watching. Like, it's going to be, people are really excited for it. There's going to be house parties all over the place to watch the first game. And then the second game's going to happen and nobody's going to be watching it.
That's going to be a long day, but I'm here for it.
All right. All right. Well, batten down the hatches. Here we go. Speaking of hatches, we still don't have any eaglets. We've been on Big Bear Lake or Lake Big Bear. Which way do you pronounce it? Lake Big Bear, Big Bear Lake,
Big Bear, Big Bear Lake, Big Bear Lake, Big Bear Lake,
Big Bear Lake Eagle Cam. Still 3 eggs, still no birds.
Looks like a lot more feathers coming out of one right now.
Okay.
Right. So a little Scotty really trying to poke through there.
I will say this. I mean, if it doesn't work out, scrambled. I mean,
that's our nation's bird. That is a red, white, and blue egg.
We also asked Sandy, can you get in trouble for eating one of these eggs? And she said, yeah, you would do jail time. Ornberger.
Oh, Benedict. Just saying.
Like hollandaise sauce?
Can you imagine American bald eagle eggs?
Wait,
Benedict.
By the way,
with hollandaise, bro. Dude,
Chef Claudia.
Yeah.
Chef Claudia was in here on Friday, Bar Cart Friday, and she said we could eat ostrich eggs.
Oh, dude, she was like talking about how delicious emu eggs. She was like,
I've had them. They're awesome.
Well, okay?
What do they mean? Does it taste like a normal egg?
Basically, yeah, just really big and really kind of overwhelming when the waiter puts it on your table. Because I'm not kidding. Like, I'm making the gesture right now. The white of the egg stretches out this far.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
That's about the circumference of a basketball hoop.
Then, like, the brain is about this big, the yolk.
The brain?
Because it's about the size of a brain.
Like a human brain.
Yeah.
Like the size, he's gesturing the size of a basketball. So, like, yeah.
On a different scale, big weekend for me. I was doing some cleanup in the yard. We had some bark that needed to be removed. And as I was tearing it out, I think I found the world's tiniest little coconut.
Oh my God.
I mean,
he's not kidding.
What?
I think it's probably time.
I do a lap for the world's
No,
tiniest coconut. Look at that thing.
Dude, it has the 3 holes on it and everything. That is the world's tiniest coconut. What?
Yeah,
How
spectacular. I know.
You didn't find this in your yard.
I did. I'm telling you, it was like in the bark.
Anyways,
big day.
So
well, that's it. I think.
Well, yeah.
All right, Colin Coward in the herd.
Oh, yeah. Actually, just remind me though, we do have pairs of tickets. You could go and see Slightly Stoopid and special guest Dirty Heads on August 24th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. You could check out info and get tickets at livenation.com or keep listening for your chance to win. Also, a pair of tickets to Shamrock St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Tradition returns to the Gas Lamp. There's going to be a giant Irish celebration taking over the streets of the Gas Lamp March 16th. Go to San Diego Shamrock.com for tickets and info, or keep listening to win those as well. Okay.
So you said he slightly reminded you of what you were supposed to do next with the reads. Was it because what he was saying was slightly stupid, and the first thing on the read was slightly stupid?
That is exactly correct.
That hurts a little.
Well, stings. I can't help how my brain works.
Stings the nostrils.
My brain. Here's what's crazy is I thought the biggest news of the day was over with when I was laying my head on the pillow, and I had missed Russell Wilson going to the Steelers, and that really stole the show, because Russ going to the Steelers, the more you think about it, the more you like it. However, the Steelers have the job of unscrewing up what's been screwed up over 2 seasons with Russ. I don't know why it went so sour after he left Seattle, but it went really bad in Denver. And if you look at the stats, they lie to you. It tells you a completely different story, because he looks very competent. The first year struggled, second year looked a lot better under Sean Payton. But Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos are willing to eat $38 million this upcoming season, and even more than that the next season, to get rid of him.
85 mil total.
Yeah.
The biggest cap hit in NFL history.
Well, the biggest dead cap hit from a player who's not going to be on your team. It's an incredible amount of money to pay somebody. Literally, the Steelers will be paying Russ $1.2 million in 2024. The Denver Broncos will pay him $38 million to not play for them.
It's wild, but I think Steelers' job number 1 is to not let Russ control any of the culture. Like the Steelers, if we know anything about that organization, have had a culture set really since before even Mike Tomlin was there. And it's been one of hard work, defense, run game. And those have always been the top 3 priorities. Now, there were years where Big Ben would really light up statistically in terms of the passing game, but a lot of that was designed and built off of the run game and off of the defense being able to allow the offense to possess the ball for so much of the game. They need to continue with that same strategy here. Russ needs to be like the 3rd or 4th most important person on the team, even if he's putting up first most important team stats.
Well, pause, because Ben Roethlisberger was there, and that was through the almost entirety of Tomlin's career as a head coach, and inarguably the most important player on that team.
And I said he had years where he was putting up almost MVP-worthy stats, but I think it all predicated based on the defense getting the offense the ball back and the run game being strong the entire time he was there, opening up passing games.
Did you ever meet Mike Tomlin, Rich, in your days of playing?
Yeah. Met Mike Tomlin on a free agent visit in 2015 preseason. 2015 preseason is when I met him. And I mean, look, that is a player's coach. He connects with you immediately. He understands how to talk to players. There's no awkwardness at all. He's interested in you. I mean, I met him for maybe 20 minutes, spoke to him, I should say, for maybe 20 minutes, just me and him. And he wants to get to know about your background, asking you what your parents did for a living. So he gets a feel for what kind of, childhood you have, wants to know what part of the country you grew up in. He wants to know, your experiences playing for different coaches. Like, we got in pretty deep quick. Like, he's not a small talk guy. He wants to cut to the core.
Did it have that same feeling that when I watch him out there on the sideline of this guy doesn't F around? I mean, this is not playtime. This is not, I'm going to give someone any leeway. Was that the same thing that resonated with you when you met with him?
Yeah, he has that, that glare, that wide-eyed glare you see from the sideline with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Like, that's him 100% of the time. He always looks like he's trying to get to the point, right? Whether it's out of you or from himself, he speaks very directly. He's very candid. He actually shared more with me than I thought he would. I remember thinking like, whoa, Like, you know what I mean? As a head coach meeting a player for the first time, like he was expressive, and it didn't feel, what's the word I'm looking for? There was no like veneer of professionalism. It's like, how about this weather today?
Right,
it was like, yeah, listen, you know, that dude, oh, I remember that dude. Yeah, he's a bad mother effer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa. I was like, but I loved it because he's, first of all, the player we were talking about, it was defensive lineman, and I was like, yeah, he's right. That dude was a bad mother effer. I was like, you know, so it just very direct, very smart, very capable, and I felt like immediately, I'm like, I want to play for this guy.
Yeah. You know what it feels like to me is Sean Payton out there in Denver was mom trying to wrangle in their son Russell Wilson, and it kept going haywire. He wasn't listening. He kept acting up, and she went, or Sean Payton went, I'm going to call in dad. And then he got sent to the Steelers, and now dad's there.
And that brings kind of to this, like, do you guys consider Russell Wilson tough?
Yeah.
Like a tough quarterback?
Yeah.
I think at times in his career he really has been, but I don't know that I would put him nearly as tough as Terry Bradshaw or Big Ben, who, like, toughness was a big part of their game, and that's a big part of the Steelers culture also. And I think that Russ going to the Steelers, that's probably one of the only places he could have gone and really have success and maybe find a way back to getting his gold jacket. But I don't know if he's tough enough to fit in that system with what we've seen the last few years.
I think he is. I think he is. Look, you can't be a starting quarterback and have the level of success that he's had under the amount of scrutiny that starting quarterbacks have to be under throughout the course of their career, unless you're tough, mentally tough, physically tough. I mean, that guy plays like a warrior. Here's the problem is he's insincere. I don't think I doubt his toughness at all. I doubt his human emotional IQ. Like the way I was talking about Mike Tomlin, I've never met Russell Wilson, so I'm just basing this off of source reports about how things go in the locker room and some first person occasions where you've had players who've played with him in the past who describe him as something that's a little robotic, a little, I don't know, just unreachable, I guess. And I think that's the barrier you got to break down with Russ in order to get him to connect with this locker
He doesn't
room.
strike me as someone who's always been that way, though. Like when he was starting out in Seattle, I didn't get that feeling from him, and you didn't hear that from players. Marshawn Lynch, I mean, who I think is a very eclectic individual, had glowing things to say about Russell Wilson.
Until later.
Till later.
Oh, yeah. He's been very open and honest. Yeah, he's said the exact opposite. He thinks
there are guys like Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett have both. Those are two wide receivers that played with Russ. They both have like long time defended Russell Wilson. But then there's the examples of, again, the kind of tougher guys on those Seattle teams who, yeah, they've talked a ton of crap about him. And now there's some dude in Denver. I don't know if you guys saw this former player. I'm blanking on his name. I'll find it. But he's a former Denver Bronco who's still around the organization. And he lit Russ on fire on his way out the door, like the day after the news got released that the Broncos were going to be releasing him.
Well, I mean, look, if Russell Wilson went there and won, he'd still be a Bronco, and he'd be getting pats on the back and high fives, and so would everyone there at the Bronco organization for making that work.
TD, as a Broncos fan, is there anything where you're like, man, like I wish it worked, or I wish that they didn't move on from him, or is this like a clean sever? It's like, nope, Sean Payton's our guy. We trust him. See you later, Russ.
Do I wish it worked? Of course. Especially, I mean, the amount of hype going into the start of, it was just the season before last, I guess. Now it wasn't that long ago. So yeah, do I wish it worked? Of course. Am I unhappy about it now as a Bronco fan? Not one bit. In fact, I mean, the more that they cut out here right now, I think the better, which is very unfortunate. I think there are some talented players that are gone or leaving or have now just been released. But there has to be some sort of clean slate here. There has to be some sort of rebuild, and it's going to be a number of years. Unfortunately for the Broncos and Broncos fans, I do believe, until you start to see some success there, which is honestly crazy because literally 2 years ago, I was saying every team in the AFC West is going to finish above 500. I mean, this is going to be insane. The Broncos have a team now that they're going to compete with the Chiefs. That didn't happen. It's incredible to me, the turnaround of emotions. But You know what? Used to it here in San Diego.
Well, what's cool for Steelers fans, Russ went from being the worst contract in all of football to potentially being the best contract in all of football on a 1 year, $1.5 million, $1.2 million deal. Like for a quarterback, that's unheard of. So the Steelers are going to be able to really build around him, at least for this 1 year, maybe make a little bit of a super team up in Pittsburgh.
Well, you look at what they have there, and they have a lot. Jalen Warren has emerged as a strong candidate to take over as the starting tailback in Pittsburgh. You have Najee Harris. He'll get to work right away with George Pickens, who was making some noise in the middle of that season because of who was throwing the football to him. It was a mixed bag of Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky. Now he gets Russ. You would imagine Russ is going to pull up his sleeves and want to work with him and Deontay Johnson right away. So there's some weapons around that Steelers offense. And you have a new offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith, who is the fired former Atlanta Falcons head coach, former offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans when they were absolutely wrecking house with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. And that's the kind of offense that I expect to see in Pittsburgh. One that's more play action based that Russ can operate in. Here's the problem. That offense depends on you throwing over the middle of the field. It's not his strongest suit. So Russ is going to have to get better at that. He's more of a sideline thrower. He's more of a rollout and throw it. If he's going to make a throw directly over the middle of the field, he likes to be on the edges of the pocket. So he's going to have to get used to that aspect of the game. He's not Ryan Tannehill, but we'll see. I mean, it's possible that this is the perfect fit.
But how is he going to work in Steelers country? Like, let's smelt?
Steelers, let's smelt.
How long have you had that?
It's like
Steelers,
9 o'clock last night.
Steelers Nation, let's forge.
Like that was
Forge ahead. Forge ahead.
You thought of that in bed last night. You're like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. I took that away.
Well, we were just talking about it. $1.2 million is all the Steelers have to pay. $38 million Denver's on the hook for as Russell Wilson signs a 1-year deal with Pittsburgh. Baker Mayfield, another quarterback, gets signed. He re-signs with the Buccaneers yesterday. 3-year deal, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed. That's what you get for taking a team all the way to the playoffs and advancing to the divisional round. Patriots quarterback Mac Jones traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th-rounder. Chiefs re-signed their defensive tackle. Chris Jones, he signed a 5-year deal. He gets $95 million guaranteed over the first 3 years of that contract. In Philadelphia, Eagles defensive tackle Fletcher Cox retired. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, and that comes on the heels of Jason Kelce on the other side of the ball retiring. Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, he was traded to the Cleveland Browns for a 5th and a 6th-rounder. And in the NBA, we'll get to this story later on, Rudy Gobert was fined $100,000 for making a gesture that accused a ref of being on the take. Okay, so a bevy of moves in the NFL as we discussed. So Baker stays a Buck. Mac Jones becomes a Jag. Chris Jones staying home in Kansas City. Eagles Fletcher Cox retires. And Jerry Jeudy goes to the Browns. Where do you guys want to land on first? And then we'll chew on the rest of these.
Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker Mayfield. This is a great deal. For both sides of this. I'm happy about this. I think it's great. There was a hot mic right at the end of last season where Baker Mayfield was talking with, I think it was Troy Aikman. And during the hot mic, he said, yeah, man, they're going to re-sign me. We've already talked about it. So it was I don't know if he was just talking or if this was a done deal months ago, but
that was what we missed out on at Radio Row, by the way. That was behind one of the sets where Baker and Troy had just done some podcast or some
is that what that was?
Old Spice commercial or something. And then behind one of the sets, Baker was like, yeah, man, they already re-signed me. And you could kind of hear it muffled.
and Troy's like, well, congratulations.
Yeah, it is obvious that this is exactly what they should have done. But I don't understand why it has to be such a big secret, but sometimes agents do this. Sometimes teams do this where they say, hey, let's not make an emotional decision here. We'll wait and we'll see how the offseason goes because things do change and tides can change. But look, they're going to be picking low in the draft because of how well the Tampa Bay Buccaneers performed this year. Even if it is a quarterback late in draft, you have a guy who's a former 1st overall pick who played like it this season for your team, led the franchise in what was supposed to be a rebuild year, and did a glorious job of it. And by the way, Mike Evans gets locked up. Like, I don't think that happens. I think he may leave and test free agency elsewhere unless he has a quarterback throwing to him. And this transition was supposed to be a rough one. It was anything but. And I agree with you. I like the way Baker competes. So I like this for both sides also.
Is this good for all 3 years, you guys think? Because I can see this being really good for this upcoming season. And like they have Mike Evans still for the next 2 years. It looks like a lot of the offensive pieces are going to be returning. Do you think this is good for 3 years? Like, can the Bucs actually make something happen and win a Super Bowl under Baker Mayfield? Is that even the goal with this? Or are they just trying to stay relevant for the next 3 years?
Well, unfortunately for Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, there are several teams out there that I don't know if they could ever get past, at least in my mind right now. I mean, one of them's obviously the Chiefs, the 49ers. I think are both juggernauts out there. That the Lions are a better team in my eyes by far at this point. But I don't think it doesn't make them competitive. Well, yeah, I mean, I think they're there. Are they a Super Bowl team to me? No.
Right, I feel the same way. I see a playoff team for the next few years. I don't know that I see anything close to a Super Bowl team.
Well, what would you say about the Lions? Are the Lions capable of winning a Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I can easily look. They have Jared Goff as their quarterback. Baker Mayfield is better than Jared Goff in my brain.
Good point.
Like the way I organize this, I would say Baker. I've throughout most of his career compared to Jared Goff's, I trust Baker more. Now that quotient is shifting in the direction of Jared Goff as he continues to build inside this Lions offense. And I love what Ben Johnson has done with him. And he comes back next year for that Lions team. But Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles obviously is going to build a strong defense on the other side of the ball. I don't know, man. You got Mike Evans locked up throughout the course of this contract. Those contracts are linked, both 3-year deals. It feels like this very easily could be an opportunity for this to be a repeat playoff contender. And if they get the defense straight, I trust that offense.
Baker Mayfield better than Jared Goff?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, well, Jared Goff has had the benefit of having two of the smarter minds offensively in football as his main play callers in Sean McVay and Ben Johnson. But Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl, man.
Well,
last year he led the NFL on a bunch of different stats.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you're looking at these two guys out on the field and who has that X factor, Baker Mayfield wins.
Baker has more swagger, and you feel like in a playoff game, Baker can just go out and win it by himself because of his intangibles. But Jared Goff, I feel like, is more consistent.
You know what I like of these two comparisons and where I would lean on is Dan Campbell. I think there's something special there that's bringing some magic to the team.
Yeah, I trust Baker more because he's a more talented quarterback. I look, Jared Goff with the Rams, you talk about that Super Bowl run, he was carried by that defense. He was carried by that run game. Todd Gurley did all the work on that offense. Jared Goff is a talented quarterback inside of a great system. Baker Mayfield can win you games. I just don't have that kind of trust in Jared Goff. Now, it's taken a while for him to find home. It feels like Tampa Bay is a fit. We'll see what happens this upcoming season. Consistency has been a problem with Baker, but also he's never had a consistent system. He hasn't. He's been the Cleveland Browns flushed the toilet twice while he was the quarterback on the regime changes. And then he goes to Carolina, hot mess. Goes over to LA. The first time he was in a stable system, he really shined in a short time appearing there. He goes to Tampa Bay and he's immediately in a culture that was built up by the GOAT, Tom Brady, and had some of the leftovers of that system, and he soared. So I feel like what's been missing for Baker is consistency at the top, and Todd Bowles is a veteran head coach.
Yeah, and Goff reminds me of Ryan Gosling. I don't dig a whole
Ryan
lot.
Gosling, who's a fantastic actor.
And apparently a great singer. Did you see him on the Oscars yesterday?
I did, actually. I didn't watch any of them.
Okay.
I saw like a clip of it this morning only because I heard Slash came out, and then I didn't see Slash after watching 1 minute of Ryan Gosling sing, which I did think like, yeah, I mean,
he can sing.
Was he singing
He can
the
sing
Ken song from Barbie?
Yeah, he was.
I'm a Ken, or I am Ken.
I'm just Ken.
That
He's
one, yeah.
just Ken.
Yeah.
And he really
Anywhere else I'd be a 10.
Yeah.
Speaking of 10s, the three of us equal 30 because we're all 10s now that we've lost all this weight. 10 plus 10 plus 10.
I know, but why?
We're all 10s.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Why 30 though?
Because 10 plus 10 plus 10.
I know, but why? Like, what does it matter?
All right. Not important. I guess yesterday we did taxes, which is like one of my least favorite times of year, but I get to see my tax guy. His name's Scott. He's up in Long Beach, and I see him once a year. And the first thing he said, "Wow, you look a lot different since last year." And I was like, "Yes, Scott. You know why? SDFatLoss.com. That's why." Talk to Wayne and Chloe if you're trying to lose some lbs yourself. He's not. He's very skinny and very tall. But SDFatLoss.com is the place to go for you out there who wants to lose some weight here. Maybe when you run into your tax guy this season, he will say the same thing. Get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. They got a free consultation for you with Wayne and Chloe, who will build out a roadmap for the next couple months of your life and show you how you can drop 30 to 40 pounds in just a couple months. That's what happened to the three of us. We were all over 35 pounds by the end of the reduction phase, and we've all been able to keep it off here. Most people don't realize that with these prescription drugs that are being pushed in your face all the time and the fad diets, you're going to lose some weight, but you're just temporarily suppressing your hunger. So as soon as you get off that drug or the fad diet, your frustration and your weight could come right back to haunt you. SDFatLoss.com. They got the secret for quick weight loss and, most importantly, lasting weight loss. Down 35, stay down 35. Down 40, stay down 40. We've had listeners who've had tremendous success stories with SDFatLoss.com, and we want you to become the next one. So get on over to SDFatLoss.com today, schedule a free consultation. And by the way, right now for our listeners, if you don't lose any weight within the first 10 days of SDFatLoss.com, they will give you your money back. So if it doesn't work for you, it's fully guaranteed. Why is it fully guaranteed? Because it's going to work for you. Get on over to SDFatLoss.com today and start losing weight tomorrow. SDFatLoss.com. Coming up next, Aztecs had a rough night on Friday night. What does that mean for them as they head into their postseason? We'll talk about it.
Aztecs getting ready for the Mountain West Conference Tournament. Let's talk about it coming up next.
This update is presented by California Department of Healthcare Access and Information. Started off with San Diego State hoops. They fell Friday night to Boise State 79-77 at Viejas. They're heading into the Mountain West tournament as the 5 seed. They got 4 seed UNLV this Thursday at 2:30. Typically, it would be a neutral site game. However, it is being played at the house of UNLV, the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. In the NFL, quarterback Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal with the Steelers. Baker Mayfield staying with the Tampa Bay Bucks on a 3-year deal for $100 million. And the Patriots finalizing a trade for quarterback Mac Jones. He's heading over to the Jaguars. And in baseball, Padres wheels up for Korea in 2 days. They're prepping for that first game of the year on March 20th against the Dodgers. It's going to take place March 20th at 3:05 a.m. for first pitch. Are you a mental health, social work, or child welfare professional? Consider a career as a certified wellness coach where you can make an impact working with children and youth. Learn more at cawellnesscoach.org, supported by the California Department of Health Care, Access, and Information.
Big Rich TD and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760, rolling through a Monday here. We do have a couple giveaways, Slightly Stupid tickets. They're going to be at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. That's happening August 24th. Tickets and info, livenation.com. Also, a pair of tickets to Shamrock, St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Tradition returns as an authentic Irish celebration takes over the streets of San Diego's historic Gas Lamp District on March 16th. San Diego Shamrock.com for tickets and info there, guys. This week, the 14th, Thursday, Pi Day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big day.
Yeah. It's a big day for us, especially.
Right.
We're really big fans of circumference here. And you need pi r square.
I mean, Yes, we are. Also, Friday, we're doing 3 hours to Irish again on Friday.
Oh, we're going to try our hardest. I think we only made it 2 hours last time.
We did?
Yeah.
That was a tricky day.
That was
and it's a bar card Friday. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
I'll tell you, I could go for 3 hours to Irish, especially if San Diego State falls on Thursday. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be depressed.
Well, we'll pick you right back up.
Yeah. With some highlights.
But if they win on Thursday, then Friday I'm going to be like working all day. So you guys are 3 hours to Irish. I'm not.
Fletch, you said that during the break on Twitter that Steelers country let's weld.
Let's weld.
Let's weld out there.
It's going around. It went a little viral.
I kind of like what you went with was forge or let's forge, where you could go Steelers country, forge ahead.
Oh, forge ahead. Yeah.
It's not bad.
I mean, look, I need the corniness to continue.
Okay, but you're saying that as a Denver Broncos fan?
Yes.
So that would just help you feel better about everything, right?
1,000% correct.
If you're a Steelers fan, you're just hoping Russ puts his head down and gets to work and actually forges ahead without saying I'm forging ahead.
Steelers country, let's crucible. I really do hope that something super, super lame comes out.
Oh, he already put out a hype video.
Oh, I know.
It's like, Russ, learn your lesson, dude.
He can't help himself.
It's to that song. Is it Renegade by Styx? That's like the Steelers song.
Yeah. If you've ever been to a Steelers home game, it's sick. It's
badass.
When they play Styx in that stadium, the whole place goes nuts. The terrible towels come out.
Wow.
And I mean, it's like a wall of sound coming at you, like your body's vibrating. I love fans in Pennsylvania. It's unreal.
Yeah, Russ is like the opposite of cool.
Luckily, they were able to rebuild after Bane blew up the stadium.
Yeah, that video is also out there online. It's Steelers country, let's ride, and then the ride is Bane blowing up Heinz Field.
People are geniuses.
It's not called Heinz Field anymore. What is it now?
Oh, no, I think it's still
Heinz.
Field.
It was Three Rivers.
Yeah.
I think they changed it this last offseason. Whatever. Not
oh my gosh. If it's Huntsfield.
Oh my god. I like the beans hate their ketchup. All right.
Yeah,
so
Acrisure.
Mark Ziegler.
Terrible ketchup.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, way too sugary. Mark Ziegler of the San Diego Union Tribune wrote a article about this year's Aztecs basketball team. Now, if you're looking for the warm and fuzzies, if you're looking for somebody to cuddle you as you fall asleep, this is not for you. This article is not for the faint of heart. Mark Ziegler, in pretty plain English, laid out how even though both of these teams may be headed toward the same seed in this year's upcoming March Madness bracket, they are very different. Here, I'm going to read it just a couple of words from here. Mark Ziegler is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about this article. But let's start here. Okay. So last year's team entered the postseason on an ascendancy. It lost to Nevada January 31st, held its player-only meeting, closed the regular season with a 7-1 sweep through the Mountain West tournament, and won 5 more times in the Big Dance. This year, the Aztecs lost January 30th at Colorado State, followed by a starting lineup change, followed by a 4-4 record to close the regular season over those 8 games. They rank 156th nationally in offensive efficiency. Lamont Butler is 4 of 20 slump behind the arc. Micah Parrish has launched 40 of his 40 3-pointers in his last 8 games, clanked 30 of them. Reese Waters went 5 of 8 at Air Force on February 6th, and is 6 of 26 since. Darian Trammell is 3 of his last 19, and Jay Powell hasn't made a 3 in a month. So what he's talking about is where the game of basketball is offensively is a far cry from where the Aztecs are. If you're going to win in basketball at the collegiate or the NBA level these days, you really do need a perimeter game, and the Aztecs have struggled in that category.
Absolutely. And Dutch was on the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show, which airs Thursdays at 6 o'clock right here on 760. And he told John, he said, look, there's really only one thing holding us back right now. And if we can fix it, we can make some sort of run. But the thing they need to fix is shooting better from 3. Like, you change the 3-point line in all 4 of those losses that they finished last 4 games, 4-4 in the last 8, and they just made their threes. They win all those games because they're all close games. But the comebacks falling short, the inability to open up games, a lot of it is stemming from the 3-point line. And it's not like this team is playing bad defense. They're playing really good defense. But the offensive efficiency numbers come from the amount of trips down the court, success on those trips down the court, and the Aztecs just haven't been having enough success.
Yeah, I mean, that win or that loss against Boise State, if it were a win, there'd be a lot different feeling here. You know, the headline of this article, Sputtering Aztecs, it does feel that way. It does feel like they're almost running out of gas. So, I mean, if they could have just turned that around and had an upswing at the end, I think we'd all be feeling a little more confident right now. I still think this is a fantastic team if they can just find the spark.
They have all the pieces. And the loss against Boise State, God, talk about a stupid final, like 7 minutes of that game, including the overtime period. But Lamont Butler misses a free throw, opening up an opportunity for Boise State to tie it. They tie it, goes to overtime. Max Rice hits one of the most ridiculous shots you will ever see in a college basketball game, basically from half court as the shot clock was winding down on a broken offensive possession that puts Boise State up 5, and that really sealed the game.
Well, look, I mean, it wouldn't be the last time, it wouldn't be the first time if a team all of a sudden who sputtered down the stretch of the regular season caught a spark and took it far. The Huskies, who beat a 2-seed Aztecs team back in 2011, which is referenced in this article, UConn met the Aztecs in the Sweet 16. That was a team who finished out their regular season 4-7 through their last 11 games, had to win 5 games in 5 nights to win the Big East, which was awesome back then. And then they went on a historic run through the NCAA tournament and won the national title that year. And that was Kawhi freaking Leonard on the other side of that court in the Sweet 16. It didn't matter. UConn, they just had that team of destiny stuff working for them. Can it happen?
Kemba Walker.
Yeah, Kemba Walker, by the way, which the Aztecs, to their credit, they have a guy.
They got Jaden.
They have Jaden Ledee. Like, I understand people will talk about Kemba Walker and what he meant to UConn over those years, and then he transitioned, became an excellent pro as well. But Jaden Ledee has all the star stuff. He has the makings of being one of those special
By
March
the way,
players.
he's actually sneakily been one of the Aztecs' best 3-point shooters this year, too. He just doesn't shoot as much. No, you don't. Like, the two of the bigger guys on the team have been 2 of the better 3-point shooters in Jaden Ledee and Elijah Saunders. They just don't shoot as many as the other guys.
Because they shouldn't. Because Micah Parrish and Jay Powell and Lamont Butler should be hitting threes. That is the worst spin I've ever heard in my life.
No, Elijah Saunders shoots a lot of threes. Like, that's part of his game, and he's been shooting more because he's the only one who's been making them. But Jaden Ledee, I think before this season, he had shot like 1 3-pointer in his collegiate career. This year, he shot like 25, and he's making them at like a 39% clip.
Fletch, you love college basketball.
Love it more than anything.
You love our San Diego State Aztecs.
Love them.
What is your weather vane telling you? What's your gut telling you going in right now? Do you feel good about the Aztecs or
no?
Cool. All right.
So here's
Shamrock tickets.
You ready for why I'm ridiculously nervous about Thursday's game specifically? San Diego State's been bad on the road all year. You think once you get into the Mountain West tournament, well, you're no longer playing road games. It's neutral site.
Whoa.
False.
Whoa.
San Diego State is playing against UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center, which don't even get me started on how dumb it is that the Mountain West has their conference tournament at the home of one of the teams in the Mountain West. No other conference does that, by the way, just the Mountain West.
Okay.
But San Diego State's taking on UNLV, who they just lost to at the Thomas and Mack Center on Thursday.
Gotta settle down. I thought it was a good thing you finished up with that, because last week you said several times that it's a neutral site and this isn't an away game.
Generally, it is.
Yeah, that's. I knew where you were going. I knew where Fletcher was going, so I was like, let's see if he sorts this out. And he did. He landed the eagle. Speaking of the Eagles, we got our eyes on Big Bear Lake.
Listen, the time change. Jackie's still asleep.
Jackie's sleeping. We'll let you know when she wakes up.
It
There's
is wild
eggs
how
underneath
dark
her.
it is outside.
Man, it really
Yeah,
is. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Unsettling, as it were. Speaking of unsettling, a debt needed to be settled in the NBA. We'll get to that coming up next. But first, I got to talk to you guys about my testosterone levels.
I've been thinking about it all morning.
Sky high.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can feel it pulsing through my veins.
People in the office are like, is something different about Rich? And I'm like,
Right.
T levels.
By the way, Richie, our buddy Jamar, who listens every morning, was asking about the Man Zone, where he can go to sign up. Some more information.
Yeah.
What do you got to tell him?
Done deal. Themanzone.com. They have all their information there, address, phone number, the team, the staff. They'll help you out. Dr. Roy David, who is a board certified plastic surgeon over at Golden Triangle Plastic Surgery, he opened up the Man Zone because he cares about men's health. Listen, this is something that not a lot of people are comfortable talking about, but I am. I'll tell you right now, it's optimized my health. Look, I had some issues. I was feeling sluggish getting out of bed. I was feeling really low energy, especially when I try to motivate myself to work out. There were times where I would go to the gym, I'd get on like the elliptical, I'd start my work, and halfway through, I was just like, I'm done here. I don't even know what I'm doing. I want to get home. And it's weird when you feel that tired, you feel like lazy, except you're not a lazy person. You're a dad. You work hard all day long. You want to feel good. And the only way to feel good is by working out sometimes. And the only way to work out is if you have the energy to. And if you can't muster the energy, well, you're in this weird spiral, this cycle. So I broke the cycle. I went to the Man Zone, met with Dr. Roy David's team, and they hooked me up because they tested my testosterone level. They found out that I was in the low average range, and it's just not good. Everybody's losing testosterone. As I'm speaking to you, you're aging, you're losing testosterone. You can't help it. It's the march of time. If you're in your 40s, your 50s, or your 60s, you need to get your testosterone tested today, especially if you never have. And you should do this annually over at the Man Zone. If you're in your late 30s like I am, I was 37 when I started my testosterone replacement therapy over at the Man Zone. I'm 38 now. It has changed my life. So if you're feeling a little sluggish, you don't feel like getting out to the gym, if you have that brain fog, right, where you just feel like you're in a funk, it's great to get in touch with the good folks over at the Man Zone. That's themanzone.com. Or if you're struggling with anything in the bedroom, I mean, it could be testosterone related. Themanzone.com. That's themanzone.com. Coming up next, we got to get into this storyline in the NBA. Did Rudy Gobert go too far? That's next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Busy show today. We have two great giveaways. You're going to go see Slightly Stoopid if you win the pair of tickets we have coming up later on, or we're sending you to Shamrock, you and a friend. So just keep listening for ways to win those. So Rudy Gobert, Minnesota Timberwolves center, who is at the center of controversy. Actually, today marks the day. This is crazy. So a lot of people don't remember this as an anniversary. But today is the anniversary of the entirety of the NBA being shut down because Rudy Gobert tested positive for COVID.
Wow, is it really?
4 years ago. So that
Wow.
You remember that when he took the mic from the reporter and was breathing on the mic?
No, he's touching all of them. He was just touching all of them.
I think he breathed on one too. It was crazy offensive what he did.
At the time it seemed like
Right.
it was weird. It was like, well, what is even coronavirus? We had no idea what was about to happen to the world, but the NBA then shut down. And then we go into where the world shut down, or at very least many of the Western countries shut down. And so it was this crazy time. Rudy Gobert was at the center of all of it because he was involved in the first game that was kind of turned off as a result of a positive or a COVID positive test. So anyways, 4 years later, he's back in headlines and he's getting fined $100,000 now. And here's the reason why. There was a game where I guess Scott Foster called a foul on him, and it was the sixth time he's going to the bench. You know, he fouled out, and Foster didn't catch it. He was turning to the scores table, and he was, explaining the foul. As Rudy was making his way toward the bench, he signaled like either make it rain or like put his fingers together.
Yeah, he was like doing the fingers, thumbs, like money, 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 money.
Yeah. Suggesting that Scott Foster was throwing the game.
Right.
Was trying to get it so the Minnesota Timberwolves lost. And the other ref caught it and teed him up. And so when you get a technical foul, especially when you're a repeat offender like Rudy Gobert, they'll fine you. They'll fine you pretty significantly. So look, I mean, this is a drop in the ocean for Rudy Gobert, $100,000, but still it's significant from the standpoint of that's a large fine to give to any athlete.
What's awesome about it is Scott Foster, the guy who he was making that signal to, there is a petition online, and it really started to pick up steam last night because people hate him. Scott Foster, people hate him. They have a petition going to remove him from the NBA, and they cite that he's been connected to Tim Donaghy, who's the guy that got in all the trouble for throwing games and betting on NBA games himself. They already have, now it's not super significant, but 8,900 signatures trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the week so that they can get the ball rolling on actually removing Scott Foster from the NBA.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is lame.
Why?
I mean, not the removing from NBA. The bad calls I hate. I can't stand it at all. But the fact that, I mean, the NBA or the refs are so soft. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't take a small gesture of, oh, you're getting paid for this. I mean, there wasn't even words that were exchanged, and it's going to cost the guy $100,000. Give me a break.
So I agree with you. Gobert says after the game Friday night, I'll bite the bullet again. I'll be the bad guy. I'll take the fine, but I think it's hurting our game. I know the betting and all that is becoming bigger and bigger, but it shouldn't feel that way. That's the problem. Look, Scott Foster, he may have vendettas against certain players. It's been long documented, the issues with him and officiating games that Chris Paul's affiliated with. I mean, that's a thing. Check out the record that Chris Paul has when Scott Foster is the official. You'll see there's a connection there. I don't know what kind of bad blood they have, but there's bad blood. But yeah, what Rudy Gobert is saying is anytime there's even an inference, any sort of entanglement whatsoever, it can ruin people's trust and faith in the process.
Yeah, but do you think that gesture is swaying people to think that they are actually getting paid?
Oh no, I'm defending Rudy. I'm saying like the fact that a player thinks that a ref could be on the take is a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the problem. I don't think that really there's much wrong with what Gobert did, because unfortunately for the league, Scott Foster has been at the center of a lot of controversy, and this is just the next one.
And the refs get paid to criticize the players all day and call fouls on them. Why can't the players turn around and criticize the refs?
Yeah. I mean, I understand from a league standpoint, they don't want it to happen because that can also chip away at the trust in the league. But I don't know. Another debate for another day. Coming up next, we got to get into what the snell is going on in free agency around baseball.
Good God, man.
He's posted a lot on his Instagram story.
Yes. Also, we need to get back to NFL free agency. But before that, we're going to give away our own Oscars. The Oscars were on last night. Wait till you hear the ones we're giving away. But before we get to any of that, Fletch, you've been a very busy boy on the golf course.
Busy. And if you are an avid golfer, if you're looking to play some more golf and create some lasting relationships while you're at it, sign up at primetimes.golf today. I'll say that website one more time, primetimes.golf. Get over there and check it out, because they're doing some really cool stuff here over the next few weeks as the weather is getting a little bit better in San Diego. All the courses have been aerated. They're all ready to go. The next primetimes.golf event, it's going to be at the Vineyard at Escondido this Friday, the Vineyard at Escondido. And then on Saturday, it's the Golf Club of California in Fallbrook coming up. They got Coronado and a bunch of other awesome tracks around San Diego. Tee times are filling up quickly, so you got to get to primetimes.golf today. Sign up. They're going to start optimizing your pairings so that you can golf with someone that it makes sense for you to golf with. If you're part of a similar career, if you have similar aspirations, primetimes.golf will set you up with someone you haven't necessarily met before, but A, it'll make for great conversation, and B, maybe your business improves because of your golf outing with primetimes.golf. Again, tee times are filling up quickly, so you got to get to primetimes.golf today. Primetimes.golf, they're creating the pairings, the foursomes with the best strategic alignment possible. And of course, there's going to be the open seating table reserved for you at the clubhouse after the golf. Please register early. So get on over there today at primetimes.golf so they can work on these optimal pairings and groupings. And whether you're looking for networking golf or value golf, primetimes.golf is the place to go. The value golf is awesome. It's $50 a month, and then it's $20 for every tee time after that. So total, if you can play 3 times in a month, it's going to be $110. That is some of the best value you can possibly get. When you open up primetimes.golf today, the first thing you will see are these 2 events, the one at the Vineyard and then at the Golf Club of California in Fallbrook. Go sign up today. Get ready to hit the links and build some awesome relationships while you're at it. That's primetimes.golf. Hour number 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Lowe's. Starting off with San Diego State hoops. They fall Friday night to Boise State 79-77. They go into the Mountain West tournament as the 5 seed. They got 4 seed UNLV this Thursday at 2:30. In the NFL, quarterback Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal with the Steelers, becoming a great value for Pittsburgh. Baker Mayfield staying with the Tampa Bay Bucks on a 3-year deal. And in baseball, Padres wheels up for Korea in 2 days as they prepare for the first game of the year on March 20th against the Dodgers. At Lowe's, pros save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 200 or 30 or more. Select James Hardy fiber cement sliding panels. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on an Oscars Monday.
Can I call my timeout?
Yeah.
I really miss the scream.
The scream.
The scream gets me ready for the hour. It's like the signal to my brain that, it's time to think sports. And I haven't had the scream.
Yeah, I know. It's been long retired now. It feels like it's a memory.
It used to feel like we had Dan Campbell sitting in the studio with us. Now it's just another big offensive lineman.
Well, we had he was a tight end, but who's counting?
I'm talking about you, big offensive lineman.
All right. Yeah, the scream, we're gonna have to figure it out. We need to find royalty-free Rage Against the Machine. That's what we need to find.
Or TD can just make the sounds with his mouth.
Or maybe he can learn the riff. Maybe you can learn the riff on an electric guitar.
I mean, we could probably do that.
I can't do the exact same thing. It has to be a little different.
Well, if we're a cover band, we could cover songs.
But only if it's live, though. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, it still can't be in the podcast.
Original music, game on.
Right.
Well, anyways, for those who don't know what we're talking about, was it Guerrilla Radio we used to play?
Yeah.
Like from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
And that's where everybody knows it from.
I knew it from.
Yeah, that opening riff is awesome.
From Tiger Woods 2004, every time I hear, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here.
Dude, yeah. When you have a song, I forget what song, Rob Zombie from Twisted Metal 4.
Yeah.
When I used to play Twisted Metal on PlayStation,
Golly.
Rob Zombie, that's how I was introduced to Rob Zombie.
We're talking video games. Happy Mario Day yesterday.
Yeah, March 10th.
March 10th. It was a big day.
Yeah, MAR10 spells Mario. Look, we're nerds. The point is, if you used to listen to the show and you're wondering where Guerrilla Radio went, we're royalty free, baby. Okay,
that's right.
We are pumping out the jams that sound like the jams.
You want to pay for those? Nope.
Okay, not a chance.
Yeah. So
no, thank you.
So we'll just take it royalty free.
All right. So yesterday was the Oscars, and Oppenheimer pretty much swept the show. There were some wins across the board. What was it? The Death of the Harvest Moon. I didn't watch a single one of these movies.
Flowers of the Heart. Wait, no. What was it?
Flowers of the Killer Moon.
Flowers of the Killer Moon.
But Oppenheimer won like every best director, best picture, best actor, best cinematography, best soundtrack.
Okay.
Flowers of the Killer Moon took me like 10 days to watch.
Oh, did you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, you made it through. I watched the opening scene, fell asleep, and then forgot I started it. And then probably close to 10 months later, if it even has been out that long, it kind of like got reactivated in my Netflix or whatever streaming site it came out on.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, I never actually watched that. Anyways, long story short, when Best Picture was announced, Al Pacino walks onto the stage. Hooah! It's Al Pacino. You're like excited to see him. You're like, I haven't seen him in a while. So live, the show's live. Al Pacino walks onto the stage. And it almost feels like Al was sleeping somewhere backstage. And they kicked him out of bed. And they were like, hey, it's your turn on stage. Like, which one do I got? Best picture. Good deal. Just read the prompter, Al. No chance. I'll see you soon. And he went to the stage. And
a little Teddy Lightner.
There's a little bit. This is what he sounded like. Oh, you got it. Is it queued up? No, hang on.
Wait,
Let's
wait,
get
wait.
more royalty-free music for this segment. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
need
here
that.
It's
like the most lackluster.
the music crescendos, and at one point it gets louder because he keeps talking, and he just goes, "Wait a second, what's going on?" And then they cut his mic. It's amazing. So normally you go on stage, you announce the nominees,
Right.
There's a little build up. Instead, Al just goes, "All right, you ready for this? Let's just open this damn thing. I'm tired of holding it." So I see.
I've been here for hours.
I see Oppenheimer. Who's the no? And so the orchestra in the academy is like, just start playing.
Play the theme from Oppenheimer.
Incredible.
So last night we watched Wonka. The new Wonka.
Sucks.
Is that with
Listen,
Chalamet?
I don't know.
The new
Sure.
Wonka?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. No idea.
Yeah.
What I took from that was chocolate was supposed to be like cocaine.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Oh.
Yeah.
like cocaine is what was making everyone addicted to chocolate.
That movie makes so much more sense now
Right?
because
I
it's
mean-
like the three competing drug families
Yeah,
who are
and
all
the
working
crooked
together.
cops.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
I like that movie better now, actually.
It's just it's an old cop movie
That's
when you really
exactly
think about it.
So, but then I was like, wait, was the original Wonka cocaine?
No. In my mind, it wasn't. In my mind, it was a little bit more like
I want to
greed.
kill these kids.
Yeah. And then there was this creep who's trying to murder children.
Where also there was an old man who sat around doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing.
Grandpa Joe was he was a flim flam man.
Yeah, until a golden ticket comes out, and now the guy's doing jumping jacks.
Dude, you remember he's laying in bed. He's like, "I've got the old," and then all of a sudden Charlie comes home.
Woo!
We've got the golden ticket. I'm gonna get my funny hat. We've got the golden ticket. Where's my umbrella and cane? Anyways,
Do you think that movie sucked though? I kind of thought it sucked.
Yeah, it was.
The new one?
Yeah, it kind of sucked. It
But
kinda sucked.
Oppenheimer was great, well deserved. Congrats.
so the Oscars happen, and immediately my brain snaps back to baseball, like many people's minds do. Now we're gonna get to Blake Snell in a little bit because there may or may not be an update with Blake Snell's free agency. But check this out.
Good God, man.
We put together our own Oscars,
Right.
but it's for the Padres specifically.
Right.
It's the Oscars, which stands for Off-Season Celebratory Awards Rewarding Specialness.
You know what? Now thinking about this bit, we should have voted in secret so we can open an envelope and say who won.
We do not plan that hard. Not anything, not ever.
Give me the acronym one more time.
Okay, so it's Oscars, which stands for, it's the Padres Oscars. Off-Season Celebratory Awards Rewarding Specialness.
Love it. High five, buddy. That's great.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right, so
All
check
right.
this out. The first category is not Best Picture, like Pacino just murdered. It's Best Picture.
Oh, cool. So we got like
Picture.
5 options, right?
No, I'm going to give you 2
Oh,
nominees.
cool.
Because normally you would have 5 nominees in a rotation. We only have 2. I'm going to give you 2. Your nominees are you, Darvish, or Joe Musgrove.
Well, Joe Musgrove's been lit up all spring. He's got every time he's got out there to pitch, he's gotten like 6 runs in the first inning given up. So you Darvish has to win by default.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about this season, or do you look to last season for the award?
No. It's the off-season celebratory awards rewarding
off-season, okay.
specialness.
Then I'm sorry.
You do not go back to last year.
I do believe it's a unanimous decision here. It's you, Darvish.
It's you, Darvish.
Yeah, congratulations.
Best picture goes to you, Darvish.
Congratulations.
He'd like to thank his dog. What's Otani's dog again? Is it Shadow?
Decoy?
And his is Mirage. Actually, I don't know that for sure. moving right
Decoy related.
It's decoy related, Doc. We're moving right along. Okay, best nickname.
Mhm, mhm.
Padres Oscars, of course, meaning off-season celebratory awards rewarding specialness. Best nickname. There's 2 candidates for this one. The nominees are Jackson Farrell Merrill or the Nino, Fernando Tatis Jr. Okay, so this one's tough.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it?
Not
Well,
tough
one
for
of them
me.
is an actual nickname. One of them is something TD made up that is admittedly great.
I will come at you like a spider monkey,
I
man.
think we kind of need to give this to Jackson Merrill
What?
because if we don't, I feel like TD might quit the show.
I don't. The Nino? Dumb nickname.
I mean, but look, El Nino has a tie into San Diego. We get those wins from the desert.
Yeah, so what, he only comes around once every 3 years?
Well, I don't know if it's every 3 years, is
I
it?
don't know when it comes
What
around.
do they call it?
Is it every year?
Desert wins? Is that a haboob? How much better
Haboob.
of a name would it have been if they called him
Haboob.
Haboob?
I would have voted for Haboob. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
Farrell Merrill.
Okay, it's Jackson Farrell Merrill.
Wow.
Your
Yeah.
winner.
Wow.
Your winner.
Nice.
Do either of you want to read a category?
Yeah,
here? I mean,
Here we go.
Yeah.
Next up, we
Do
have.
it like Al Pacino.
I don't know. I can't do Al Pacino. You're gonna. Have
Oh,
Next one is best hitter.
ooh, ah.
And I'm
She got a
looking at the
great ass.
looking at the envelope, and the envelope says, "Why not, Manny Machado?" But,
You got 2 here to choose from. You got Manny Machado,
okay,
or you got Fernando Tatis Jr.
okay.
El Nino.
El Nino. All right, so Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. Best hitter. So Machado, I don't think throughout the spring he's played third base yet.
No,
I
he's
mean,
hurt.
Yeah,
He's got the tennis elbow, man.
yeah.
He might not.
He's been
I talked to-
DH in it.
I talked to Kevin on Friday. It sounds like they're fully preparing for Graham Pauley to get the start at third base this season,
Wow.
with Manny Machado being the DH to start the year.
Who?
Graham Pauley.
Graham the Parrot Polly?
Sure.
This is great. This is great. This is another great
But
nickname.
if it-
We
best
may
hitter
have to go
for
back
me-
and revisit a category.
I think they both need to have really good years for San Diego Padres to be relevant this season, but Fernando Tatis Jr. has to be like best player in the world. And I understand this is off-season specialness awards, whatever.
Off-season celebratory awards rewarding specialness.
Fernando has looked like
Oscars.
Fernando so far this offseason. Give me Fernando Tatis
Okay.
Jr.
All right.
Yeah. I would concur. By the way, have you ever had Polly's Pies?
Ooh, yeah.
Don't know what that is.
So good.
Oh my gosh. You don't know what a Polly's Pie is?
It
It
will
makes me sad.
It will blow your doors open.
That's right.
Holy
I wonder if we can get a
smokes.
hold of. Is there a Polly's near us for Pie Day?
Let's check that out.
Mm.
That's a great idea.
Mhm.
We should get a pie expert on.
We-
We only have 3
No
days
problem.
to prepare.
I can do that. I can find a pie expert.
Richie,
We found an
Manny, or
Eagle
Fernando.
expert.
What's that? Oh, yeah, Fernando.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take Fernando. So it's clean sweep. The Academy elects Fernando Tatis Jr. as best hitter.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to really like this one.
Okay.
So there's been drama this offseason so far around Major League Baseball, and it has to do with the pants that Fanatics awarded all these players because they're see-through. So the best see-through pants moment of the year so far, the bent-over unnamed Padres player, who I'm pretty sure it was Jake Cronenworth, whose whole fruit basket was on display. The honorable mention, the Giants outfielder, who on media day got
Oh,
the
yeah.
picture taken with the flash,
Yeah.
and you could actually see twig and berries.
Yeah.
Or the rest of the teams. Is that plural?
No, just the rest of the Padres.
The rest
because
of the
remember,
Padres.
this is the Padres offseason celebratory awards
That's
rewarding
right.
specialness.
That's right.
The Padres Oscars.
Yeah, I didn't mean to throw the honorable mention in there.
I'll be
Throw
honest,
this thing
the
on.
honorable mention wins for me.
You know, this might be the first time in Padres Oscars history that we actually award one of the
Whoa,
categories
whoa,
to a Giants
What?
player.
Wait. What, it was Cronenworth was bent over?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, listen.
We don't know. He seemed like he was hairier than Cronenworth, and you could tell.
What?
By the way, offseason storyline, Jake Cronenworth has gained a few LBs.
Okay, yeah.
Well, downstairs.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Look, if
Guy's got a
look,
thick
look,
peel
so,
on his banana.
you hear, oh, there's a shower and a grower. If he's a shower and a grower,
You guys aren't going to believe this, but
My
that
God,
picture,
yeah.
that picture was actually
Ben West
taken
is in trouble.
before
He
the Padres
carries
see-through
his own
pants had
bag.
arrived.
Oh, no way.
They hadn't gotten theirs yet, and you could still see everything.
okay, so now I feel like the winner has to be
Yeah.
Cronenworth.
You know, the Giants Casey Schmidt one, it was just so obvious that it
wow.
like
It was all on display.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the last category here.
Okay.
Very big deal.
Yeah, it certainly is. Best offseason free agent signing for the Padres.
Looking for this envelope.
Yeah. Well, don't look too hard because there are none. They've signed literally no one. There are no candidates, no nominees for this category. The best offseason free agent signing goes to no one.
A shocking turn of events.
Congratulations.
Shocking turn of events.
To the Padres for their Oscars offseason celebratory awards rewarding specialness. Best pitcher goes to Darvish. Best nickname goes to Jackson Farrell Merrill. Best hitter.
They've had free agent acquisitions.
Like who?
Like Wusat Go.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Go.
Brad Miller, the shortstop.
Yeah.
Who's on a minor league deal.
Wait, wasn't that a search engine?
Oh, yeah. That might have been also.
What about
DuckDuckGo.
Lacostra, the guy that Mike Schultz said has great speed?
What about Wandy Peralta?
Wandy Peralta.
Oh, actually, Yuki Matsui is a real signing.
Yuki Matsui. That was like $28 million.
But they signed him, and immediately he was like, you know what? My back hurts. I think I'm done for a little bit here. Yeah.
I was watching cornhole last night, guys.
Yeah.
On ESPN, the Ocho.
Yeah.
It was the Super Hole 4 championships.
I love the Super Hole.
Okay. It was a pro-am. The winner gets the Super Hole championship trophy. It's the Lombardi trophy with a cornhole board on top of it.
Football's supposed to be. That is brilliant.
Was the hottie the winner?
No, she got knocked out. Yeah.
We were watching intently after you sent that picture out. I mean,
poor place of sausages behind her, though.
Well, only if you're a perv.
What?
They were glistening. They were glistening.
Just a normal ad.
Just a normal who was it? Johnsonville.
Oh, Johnsonville Brats. Yeah. So I guess we'll skip through halftime because I mean we're basically already through this segment, but I will say this. I read on a Dodgers blog. Okay, so consider the sources. That Blake Snell loves Southern California. That we actually did know. That Blake Snell has had a little bit of trouble in free agency finding a team that is 100% committed to give him the money that he's looking for. And a lot of pitchers are going through the same problem in free agency this offseason. But then somebody mentioned like Anaheim has entered the race as a considerable option for Blake Snell. If that falls through, do the Dodgers come back around? Is it possible?
Why did you even say that?
So, and by the way, so like I said, it's a blog and it's very Dodger centric and it's all these things. But like the guy was making a convincing enough argument how that they could do a little cap gymnastics and make this work.
I also understand like money's money, but everything we've seen from Blake Snell's career, who did he lose to in the World Series when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays? The Dodgers. He got pulled early from that game. I can't remember the manager's name at the time, but he got pulled early after a dominant performance and they lose the World Series. Who did he hate more than anyone when he was with the San Diego Padres? The Dodgers. Do you really think he would sign with the Dodgers? Like money's money. Super team is super team. But God, that would feel yucky.
They got problems at pitcher. This is a huge,
not really. Like the Padres have problem at pitcher. Dodgers, they have 4 of them.
well, yeah,
Who?
They got a bunch of guys hurt in the preseason. Like they've got issues, and they're going to be leaning on Kershaw, who's old. I mean, in terms of baseball, pretty ancient.
But they got Yamamoto, who's going to go out and throw 1 million innings for him this year. By the way, Blake Snell yesterday on his Instagram story did post the like Jim Russell peep, the eyes,
Oh yeah,
just the eyes. So he looks like he's close to signing.
Erin Jean McDowell.
Who's that?
She's a cook, a baker.
Yes.
She is also an author, and she literally wrote the book on pie.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's called The Book on Pie.
So we need her in 3 days. Yeah. We have to have a long conversation with her. Speaking of guests, later in the show, we're going to be catching up with Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune, as Aztecs men's hoops team gets ready for the Mountain West Conference tournament. And next, we're going to get back to NBA. So, or excuse me, the NFL.
Well, we just got this text from our buddy Peter. You shut that pretty little masculine mouth, Richo. Snell to the Dodgers makes me want to barf a lot.
It does. Dude, I'm sickened even saying it. But when I read this, I wish I remember. Oh, actually, maybe I attached it here. It was Dodgers Nation. Okay, so like This is a Dodgers.
Yeah, you know what I
blog.
read, and this might make a lot of sense. I read Niners Nation.
Well, yeah.
Hang on. I'm just
Hang
gonna,
on.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
so
Google
recent
Blake
reporting
Snell.
has said that he may prefer to join the Los Angeles Angels and that he has enjoyed his time in Southern California. Also has been said that Angels owner Art Moreno may be hesitant to hand out a deal to Snell, given the fact that he's been burned by past free agent contracts. Yeah, that is very true, Art.
Rendon,
Oh,
Albert
my
Pujols.
gosh. Otani doesn't re-sign with it. With interested teams starting to dwindle, the Dodgers could always come back into play. Snell would make the Dodgers even stronger for this season. So he's making more of like the Dodgers slant pitch, like where it's like, yeah, of course, he is a Cy Young winner. Of course he would make your team better.
You know what else is sickening? The Padres can afford him.
Yeah, they could.
Well,
technically, they could.
Technically, yes.
They don't want to.
No.
No, they don't want to afford him.
Well, yeah.
So there's that.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But here's the deal. Okay, so imagine free agency's really slow.
They don't need him really.
And he signs
What?
he signs like a super short-term deal, like almost as like, I'm just gonna stop by LA. I'm just gonna pitch for the Dodgers for one season. Just sprinkle a little stardust on me for 1 year, and then I'm off to the races somewhere else in free agency. I don't know. It makes my stomach hurt, but it's possible. Okay, moving right along. Back to the NFL. There are QBs available. It wasn't just Russell Wilson available as a free agent, or Baker Mayfield for that matter. There's a list. We'll get to the list. We'll rank them coming up next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. But before we get to any of that, I want to talk about Ocean View Dental. You've heard me talk about Dr. Jordan Colby many times on this show. He's my dentist. He's my family's dentist. He's an incredible person, a great family man, and he owns one of the best medical practices I've ever visited in my life. And I mean that because when you go to Ocean View Dental, the office feels like the living room of your house. You walk in and it's comfortable is what I'm trying to say. You know, they make you feel at home. Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows why you're there. When you get your teeth cleaned, or if you're having a cavity done, or any procedure at Ocean View Dental, you have this view of the Pacific Ocean from your chair while the doctor's in with you. And it feels like, honestly, it's a great conversation interrupted by, occasional, okay, rinse and spit. It really is. It's like, it's really been nice getting to know Dr. Jordan Colby. He's got an awesome way about him, and they have this. They have all of the latest advances in dentistry. If you go in there, they've got the 3D CT imaging. They've got the lasers and the Invisalign and all the things that you need to have healthy teeth, a great smile. And his motto is he can guarantee you a healthy smile in a day. And he's done it for many of his patients who come from all over Southern California. You should see the before and afters. Go to his website, in fact, oceanviewdental.net, if you want to see them. There are some people who come in with some horrific situations from a tooth health standpoint, and he helps them leave it with a beautiful, healthy smile. So again, it's oceanviewdental.net. If you're looking for a new dentist, that's oceanviewdental.net.
This update presented by California Department of Healthcare Access and Information. Starting off with San Diego State. They fall Friday night to Boise State 79-77. Almost a really bad situation. Turns not so bad because Utah State did get the win on Saturday night. So the Aztecs will be the 5 seed, not the 6 seed. They still get the first round bye in the Mountain West tournament. They got 4 seed UNLV this Thursday at 2:30. In the NFL, quarterback Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal with the Steelers. Baker Mayfield staying with the Bucs on a 3-year, $100 million deal. And the Patriots finalizing a trade for quarterback Mac Jones to head over to the Jags. Remember, the Patriots have the 3rd pick in the draft. You would think they're going quarterback with that. And in baseball, Padres, they'll be wheels up for Korea in 2 days. They're prepping for the first game of the year, March 20th against the Dodgers. First pitch will be at 3:05 a.m. We're up for it. Our youth are facing a mental health crisis, but California is building a new workforce to help them get the help they need for a happier, healthier start in life. Learn more at cawellnesscoach.org. Supported by the California Department of Healthcare Access and Information.
We are partying here on a Monday. It's Big Rich, TD and Fletch. It's San Diego Sports 760. We are idiots, by the way, because I'm like, this poor eagle's still sleeping. It is dark up at Big Bear. That is a paused image. That is not live.
Well, see, here's the problem. So Fletch paused it because he needed to use that computer for something else. And then we still have our clock in front of it. So you're seeing like seconds tick by. So it's the optical illusion that time is passing. None has. Yeah, now it's a beautiful sunny day at Big Bear Lake.
Right.
Got the nation's bird there just picking away at some hay, some sticks.
I'm getting nervous here. I'm getting nervous because still no little Scotty's Pippin.
That's not the name.
I think it is.
No, they're eaglets. And you just started calling them Scotties based on the fact that you call when the tiniest little crack happens in an egg, it's called a pip.
Yeah.
And you like wordplay. And you had to run a lap last week for this, and you are getting real close, Buster.
The text line has already requested a lap. Twitter's requested a lap.
For what?
Not for the Scottie Pippins thing, for other stuff. One was the tiny coconut, and you made another dumb pun later.
Pretty
in the show.
Cool though, a little tiny coconut.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, which
oh, is the Steelers thing, your first one.
Wait, but then you said that Twitter also had this.
No, Twitter had Let's Weld. What did you have?
Smelt. Yeah. How about this? Do you smelt what the Steelers are cooking?
See, you're just asking for it now.
Pretty good, too. Pretty good.
If there's a text within the next 45 seconds that says you have to take a lap, you're taking a lap.
No, wow. God, someone's going to say take a lap just to have me go take a lap.
It's a good point.
It's like it's sweaty.
All I'm saying is let Russ forge.
Yeah, that's right.
All I'm saying.
We want to talk some QB free agency here. However, also you sent us a story in the break here, Fletch. Some news out of Chicago is actually going to be my morning monologue, which, look, I was going to talk daylight saving time. Of course. I was going to talk little Scotties. I was going to talk the relationship between Padres and cereal straws. However, this big deal.
Lap.
What?
She got here in time.
The Bears are super soft, okay? They're super soft.
The Bears are?
Okay. So they're going to build a stadium.
Yeah.
Okay. It was going to be miles away from Chicago, on the outskirts of town. They now decided we're not going to do that, even though we bought the property for $200 million. We're going to build it just south of Soldier Field, which is great news. In fact, this is from the Chicago Tribune. Robert McCoppin. The Bears are preparing to provide $2 billion in private funding for a new publicly owned enclosed stadium. They're building a dome.
Oh, no.
See Bills for details on how that's done.
So, yes, Bills' new stadium is open.
Hold on, I got to take a lap.
Yeah, you do. But, however, the Bills fans will not be exposed to the element. Just the field will. So, it's like domed except for the very top at the Bills' new place, Highmark Stadium 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So, actually, most seats are going to be covered, but the field, it's still an open ceiling, if that makes sense for the Bills.
Yeah, that does make sense. Well, here's the deal. I think if you want a Super Bowl, it's going to be a tough sell to get a Super Bowl at your place unless it is an exceptional venue or it's a covered stadium if you're in a cold weather area.
Was that record time?
That was actually a fast lap. He is getting faster. He runs a lot of these, folks.
Yeah. There's starting to be wear marks in the carpet.
Yeah, especially on the corners because he turns so fast.
Listen, it's hard to turn the Titanic.
Do you guys have an issue with this being a dome stadium?
Yes.
I think it's lame. I think it takes away from some of the mystique of playing at Soldier Field. I went there one time during my NFL career. It was very cool. It was during a snow game. They had to like get out the shovels and clear off the yard markers. It's neat, man. Like it's a part of, for whatever reason, like the very tribal like culture of football. Like cold weather has an impact on outcomes.
Yeah, and being next to Lake Michigan there, of that fog that would roll in and sit down in the stadium, that would be gone.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the Bears are putting up $2 billion, and then it's going to be publicly owned. So the city's going to put up what? If we look at SoFi,
$3 billion.
Yeah, 3, maybe even more than that. If they're going to build out as big as SoFi, I think it's cool that the city of Chicago is really stepping up to keep their team. I know here there was a situation where the owner was talking a little bit differently, but it sounds like the Bears were also wanting to keep it in Chicago.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard to leave a city like that. I mean, because where do you go? Like, where's the upgrade? I mean, it's one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country. You have a diehard fan base. Like Chicago Bears, it rolls off the tongue. What would be like the San Antonio Bears?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
It
wouldn't work.
And it's just synonymous with the city. The team is linked there. How would you let that go? And it's the Jacksonville Yankees.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to happen.
All right,
Monsters of the Midway would become Monsters of the what? Miami Beach.
Monsters of the Rio Grande.
Monsters of the Mississippi River.
the San Antonio Osos. So we have a couple of free agent QBs on the market. Baker Mayfield, he re-signed with the Bucks. Russell Wilson off with the Raiders. He signed a 1-year deal with them. So available right now in the NFL, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Gardner Minshew, Brian Hoyer, Jameis Winston, Jacoby Brissett, all recently cut, all recently, or soon will be free agents when the new league year begins. Which of these would you rank at the tippy top of this list? I think it's consensus here, but any surprises? I say Kirk Cousins.
It's definitely Kirk Cousins at the top. Number 2 is where it gets a little more interesting because I really like Gardner Minshew, and I think he's earned a starting job in this league. I really do. The way he was able to take the Colts, who were in disaster mode after Anthony Richardson got hurt, like a promising young quarterback goes down, you think the season's over? Nuh-uh. Gardner Minshew stepped in and played really awesome football. He was a Pro Bowler this year, wasn't he? Not that means anything.
Yeah, because he was an alternate. But yeah, Gardner Minshew played some good football after Richardson went out.
Yeah, but does he feel like a long-term solution anywhere?
Feels like a really good backup.
Yeah. That's it. That's all.
But I think he earned a starting job after last season. If someone wants to take a flyer,
man, that to me, there was an injury and you're looking for a quick fix. You need a Band-Aid for half a season. That's a Gardner Minshew to me.
Ryan Tannehill is my second. Or really, I mean, after Kirk Cousins, he's the first one for me who needs to come off the board and get signed by somebody, because Ryan Tannehill is a longtime starter in this league. Mixed results. I understand they didn't maximize his potential in Miami. With the Tennessee Titans, with the support of a good run game, he looked good. And I'll tell you, when you look at the metrics, and I'm talking about, how he protects the football, he doesn't take terrible sacks. He throws the ball away when he's supposed to. Like, Ryan Tannehill's a pretty talented quarterback, good veteran, mid-range quarterback. So there's going to be a team with a need where they're like, yeah, we can't really spend on a high-end guy right now. We want to get younger in the draft at that position, but he'll bridge that gap for us. That's how I think he's going to be signed.
That's what he would be really good at. When you think about Ryan Tannehill, his best years as a starter was when Derrick Henry was at his absolute peak, and they had A.J. Brown, this young wide receiver that no one could really guard because he was bigger and stronger than everybody and faster at the same time. That's when that team got to an AFC championship game. Like, Ryan Tannehill is good enough to get a good team to the next level. I don't know that he's good enough to build around, but he would be great in the role that he was in last year, which was being the mentor for what's Mayo Boyd's name? Why am I blanking on that?
Wait, say it again.
The guy that drinks mayo in his coffee.
Will Levis.
Will Levis. He was great as the Will Levis mentor role in getting Will Levis ready to start.
You think Cool Whip would be good in coffee? It's sweeter.
Honestly, Probably not bad, right?
No,
I mean,
it'd be awful.
makes my toes curl.
Isn't it basically whipped cream?
Cool Whip?
I don't know that I've ever actually had.
You know
Cool
what I
Whip.
was thinking?
Oh my gosh,
I was thinking Miracle Whip.
Just remind me, I have
Cool
to.
Whip would probably work.
I have to do this soon. I lost a bet during the regular season with Brian No
Oh, yeah.
and Jared Smith.
Your mistresses.
Whoa. Jared Smith is our betting analyst on our show.
That's right.
You spend like 5 hours with them every Saturday.
It's 3 hours. It's just 3 hours. It's nothing, you guys.
Every week?
It's like 20% of what we do together. That's all.
Basically,
that seems
Where does
worse.
Rich go?
You know what? We're gonna start tailing you.
Yeah. I saw you were at Jared's house.
I know you turn off your location.
Yeah.
I was tracking your AirPods. That's how I found you.
Air tag in the tailpipe.
The best of the
I'm
rest.
gonna fall for the banana in the
That
tailpipe.
sounds dirty.
Brian Hoyer, Jameis Winston, Jacoby Brissett. Any bites on any of those three?
No. Is Brian Hoyer still?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Like, I know you love Brian Hoyer, and I think he's had a really good career as like that backup quarterback / coach thing. But maybe it's time to just be coach.
Yeah, well, it's coming,
And
It's
I think
coming
he
for
should
all
be
of
a
us.
coach.
yeah. I mean, I think one of those would be a good backup for like an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Jameis Winston, dude. I mean, for a first, was he first overall that
Yeah.
year? I think it was him, and then Mariota was the second off the board that year, if I'm remembering.
That might be
correctly.
flipped.
Maybe it was, but either way, I just remember thinking, man, the Bucks, they got a good one. And
You're right. Jameis Winston won. Marcus, remember Goodell said his name wrong. Marcus Mariota too.
Mm-hmm. It just never panned out for him. He had a decent run in New Orleans when Sean Payton was there, but even Sean Payton was like, I can't win with this guy. I'm out of here. I'm going to retire. It's health reasons or family or something, whatever. I just got to go. He's not Drew Brees. I'm going home. Anyways.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, a lot of free agent quarterbacks left to sign. Kirk Cousins leading the charge there, certainly ranks number one on this show. Coming up next, the Rocket has landed in Savannah. This story is bananas. We'll get to that in just a minute. But before we do, I got to talk to everybody.
I don't think that's lap worthy.
No, I shouldn't take a lap. And you know what? I can't, because I do SCFatLoss.com where no exercise is needed to lose all this weight.
It's true.
All those unwanted pounds melted off me without doing any exercise.
Why do I have to take so many laps?
Well, you know, we felt like there's always an exception, you know?
Interesting.
But here's the thing about SCFatLoss.com. What I said isn't true. I mean, or I should say is true. You do not have to do any exercise. You don't need to do any weird dieting. You don't need to subscribe to any meal plan. Nobody's going to force you to eat these protein bars or protein shakes, which are gross sometimes. Like it's just 100% guidance from Wayne and Chloe, your weight loss team. And they really walk you through a very simple process of weight loss. And it's a guaranteed weight loss at this point. Within the first 10 days of using SCFatLoss.com, if you don't lose weight, you get your money back. It's a guarantee that Wayne and Chloe stand behind, because for many, for us, certainly within those first 10 days, you see amazing and significant results. Within the first week of doing this, our show lost 30 pounds. I was down 14 in 7 days, and I was like, is this okay? But I had so much weight to lose. It was 100% okay. And the faster you can lose it, the better off you're going to be. TD was down close to 10 pounds. Fletch was also over 10 pounds within the first week of doing SCFatLoss.com. So if you're one of those people who needs to see immediate results in order to keep you on the path, this is the plan for you. SCFatLoss.com. Wayne and Chloe have been great with us. They monitor your process the entire way. They get you through the reduction phase where you're losing the weight, and then you transition into the maintenance phase where you're keeping the weight off. And it's a sustainable lifestyle. I promise you, we are living results of all of that. So if you want to lose weight like we did, because this show has lost over 120 pounds cumulatively, you got to go to SCFatLoss.com. That's SCFatLoss.com. Coming up next, the Rocket returns. We'll explain. Oh, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. A busy Monday indeed. We got Eagle Cam going. Big Bear Lake. Ooh. The American bald eagle is looking despondent in the distance. We're not sure if these eggs are going to hatch. I mean, I know you get upset every time I mention it, but I don't see any new pips. There's no new cracks in the eggs.
Little Scotties?
Little Scotties have not hatched that either.
I believe that's Shadow in the nest because he likes to mess with the nest when he comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like,
screws everything up.
Toilet paper's on backwards. I got to turn this around. This stick clearly out of place.
Yeah. I do like when our texters do a little bit of show prep for us. So 858 asked about something we've been asking about a lot lately, which is, Rich, with your elevated T levels from the man zone, of course.
Yeah.
Do you think that you'll have the energy to finally do your miles?
We've
been talking a lot about how we can maximize Rich doing his 50 miles of running / walking / jogging that he promised us all during the Rady Children's Give-a-thon over the last couple of years.
That's right.
And we've been trying to think of some really creative ways to do it. If you have any ideas on the text line, let us know. 70470.
How many do you have to do?
Team.
I have to do 50
in one day.
Yeah, in a 24-hour stretch, I have to do 50 miles.
I think the way to do it, guys, is to set up a treadmill somewhere, and TD and I won't leave your side, but we will be tempting you with all sorts of different things like donuts or beers, stuff like that.
I mean, you can drink and walk at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think I have to starve myself for 16 hours or however long.
I don't know how long I can keep my attention span. So if you could do me a favor and walk like 40 miles an hour.
It's like Rich is hauling ass right now. We've got a treadmill on in here. It sounds like we're inside of a fan tunnel. It's crazy. I'll tell you what, man, I am not ready for it. I really like, you don't think you got to get in shape for walking until you've ever had a day at Disneyland. And then you realize like, no, you will fall to pieces. What's wrong?
On average,
see-through pants?
On average, a person walking at an average speed of 3 to 4 miles per hour, which is what we would set the treadmill at, probably can cover 50 miles. And any guesses in time?
Well, 3 to 4 miles per hour.
It would take a day.
It's going to be 15
12 hours, 15 hours,
12 and a half to 16.7 hours, somewhere in that range.
Such 15 hours. Can you walk continuously for 15 hours?
No, of course not.
Are you sure?
Can we live stream the whole thing?
Wait, hold on.
We'll have Gatorade shoes for you.
Gatorade juice.
What arch
Thanks.
supports do you put in for a 15-hour walk?
I think you know exactly which kind. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. I mean, it's the only way. It is the only
I meant
way.
like, do you strengthen? Do you maintain?
Oh,
do you
point.
relax?
Oh, the relaxers.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. You can't ask your arches to strengthen while you're walking 50 miles. Sweet Jesus. Hey, really quick before we run, Roger Clemens came back for, I guess, a special Astrodome pitching exhibition for the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the Savannah Bananas, by the way?
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
They are TikTok superstars. They damn near sold out Houston's MLB ballpark for this.
Okay, and sold out at outrageous prices. It is not cheap to go see the Bananas.
So yeah, the Minute Maid Park, 7-time Cy Young Award winner Roger Clemens takes the mound, and at 61, the reports are he was surprisingly spry. He
I wonder if he restarted his old regimen. You know,
you mean
the juicing.
a little bit of testosterone?
Tell you what, when they got him the uniform, though, I'm sure they had to get him manager size.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of a gut now.
He's got a little room for the belly. He kind of always did have a little bit of pudge, but
he was always thicker because he was on steroids.
Whoa. Perfect segue, though.
You think he got his T levels checked?
Oh, I'd guarantee it. Well, listen, I mean, there are safe and legal ways to adjust your testosterone to optimize your male health. And I found one over at the Man Zone. That's right. So Dr. Roy David, who is a double certified plastic surgeon over at Golden Triangle Plastic Surgery here in San Diego, opened the Man Zone because he realized something. He realized that 60-year-old men need to get back on the mound. Right? They need to still throw steamers right down Broadway.
I'm sorry.
Just hucking gas. Oh my gosh. Speaking of the Man Zone, you just pulled up a picture. If you want to go full throttle,
That's our new cornhole partner.
okay.
Yeah.
If you want to be better at cornhole,
That's right.
or things that are cornhole related, you got to get.
Are you talking about Savannah Bananas?
No. I'm just talking about
hucking bags?
Just hucking bags. We're talking about hucking bags. Family show. Look,
right in the hole.
you got to get to the Man Zone. Okay.
Right.
So whether you're dealing with low energy, low enthusiasm when you get to the gym, maybe the muscle tone is starting to fall off, even though you're on the same workout regimen, same diet. I don't know. Maybe you have a little brain fog like I had. It's terrible when you start losing testosterone and you don't realize you are, and you wake up to this the next day and you're like, oh, I could have solved this years ago, potentially. Go to themanzone.com and get your journey started, especially if you're in your 40s, your 50s, or your 60s. This should be a part of your annual doctor's visit. Go to your physician, but then stop by the Man Zone, get your T levels checked, and then get on testosterone replacement therapy to optimize your health if you're low. It's the easiest thing to do. It's no hassle, super comfortable environment. Doesn't feel like a doctor's office. It feels like you're visiting friends and you're going to walk away feeling better. Themanzone.com. That's themanzone.com.
This update is presented by California Department of Healthcare Access and Information. Started off with San Diego State hoops. They fall Friday night to Boise State 79-77. They head into the Mountain West tournament as the 5 seed. They got 4 seed UNLV this Thursday at 2:30. Of course, you'll hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. In the NFL, quarterback Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal with the Steelers. Baker Mayfield staying with the Bucs on a 3-year deal. Patriots finalizing a trade for quarterback Mac Jones to get the hell out and head over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over in baseball, Padres wheels up for Korea in 2 days. They prepping for the first game of the year on March 20th against the Dodgers. First pitch will be at 3:05 a.m. Our youth are facing a mental health crisis, but California is building a new workforce to help them get the help they need for a happier, healthier start in life. Learn more at cawellnesscoach.org, supported by the California Department of Healthcare Access and Information.
Champ here. When I'm in San Diego, I'm always hanging out at San Diego Sports 760 with who? Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Whammy!
Happy Monday to those who celebrate Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. San Diego Sports 760 still to give away. We have tickets to Slightly Stoopid, also tickets to Shamrock St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. We've given away neither of those pairs.
Should we do that in the next, say, 10 minutes?
If you're listening through the next 10 minutes, you're going to win one of those pairs of tickets. That's a promise. That's a promise we can keep. And we never forget. Haven't yet?
We're like elephants.
Come TD's halftime. Tickets will be flying.
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
And laps will be had.
What? Why? How do you know?
Probably going to make some dumb joke about the Warriors.
The Warriors?
I don't know if they played yesterday, did they?
We're not sure. Or like the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Timberwolves played, but they lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
They got I'll tell you later.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I mean, that's what everybody's feeling.
Yeah.
I know it.
Travis's or TD's NBA scores coming up in just a few moments. Also a giveaway.
Buckle up.
Yeah, you damn right you should. Russ is a Steeler, Russ Wilson.
That's wild, man.
Baker Mayfield stays a Buck.
That makes sense.
Patriots QB Mac Jones, we haven't gotten to this yet. He gets traded for a 6th rounder to Jacksonville, which, bear in mind, I believe it was the same draft class Justin Fields was drafted to the Bears. And so you start the comparison process and you say, well, Mac Jones was a 15th overall pick. He goes to the Jags for a 6th rounder. If the Bears really are serious about trading Justin Fields, how much are they getting for him?
There's like no market right now. There was some article I was reading out of Chicago this morning talking about the fact that the Bears can't move Justin Fields for what they want him to get in return. And I see that being a point, man. Like, who is going to pay a 1st rounder and some change for Justin Fields right now? Anyone?
No.
That should be the farthest thing from the conversation. Like, honestly, Darnold went to Carolina, I think it was like a 4th and a 6th rounder or something.
Who's the better quarterback, Justin Fields or Sam Darnold?
At that time, from a potential standpoint, you can make an argument that they were close. So I would say it's going to be something like that. It would be like a 4th and a 6th, or maybe a 3rd and a 6th, something like that.
The Bears asking price was way too high to enter this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it was as high as it was.
But Mac Jones, though, as a 6th rounder, that seems high to me. Mac Jones was terrible.
Well, but think about, so from Doug Peterson's standpoint, so look at it from the Jags standpoint. Trevor Lawrence, love him or not, like, he's just not performing to the left. Like, this was you cannot miss if you take Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
And the Jags did, and nobody blames them for taking him.
Like, there were comparisons to Peyton Manning, John Elway. Like, it was talking about
Luck.
As of people coming from high school to college to pro, Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be one of the best of all time.
And so he comes into the league and he's struggling, and has over the past couple of years. The first year with Urban Meyer, you almost like strike it from the record because Urban Meyer was such a mess as a head coach. But then Doug Peterson comes in, stabilizes thing in the first year. Trevor Lawrence looked better. I didn't look like he progressed very much in the second year with Peterson. So now he enters year 4, and Peterson, who, by the way, won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback after Carson Wentz went down, outdueled Tom Brady with Nick Foles in the Super Bowl for the win. Philly special, remember that one? So he's probably thinking forward like, okay, even if we're a playoff team, I've seen this story before. You have a mobile quarterback, which Trevor Lawrence is. Maybe you start depending on his legs, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea because he hasn't been great from the pocket, especially it's year 3 now, so the jury's out. Maybe we start incorporating a little bit more of the run game, and then we have a competent backup who I can start working with in Mac Jones just in case QB1 gets hurt. Maybe QB2 can come in and he's got starts under his belt. And he's actually been to the playoffs. His rookie year, Mac Jones took the Patriots to the playoffs as a starting quarterback.
Now, Doug Peterson is off the Andy Reid coaching tree, right?
Yes,
Do I have that right? Okay.
Yes.
So part of
Former
that
OC,
with
yeah.
Doug Peterson being off that tree, he respects really good coaching, and he respects the fact that Mac Jones, I think, has been in a room with Bill Belichick quite a bit over the last few years. And I think Doug Peterson, knowing that, was willing to part with a 6th rounder because he knows even if all the intangibles aren't there, and even if Mac Jones isn't a great quarterback, at least he has the head on him because he's been around Bill Belichick for the last few years that he thinks about football in the right way.
Oh God, he was awful. I mean, it was awful. I mean, yeah, I guess 6th round. I guess it's worth that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you got, I guess, at least a little bit of a track record you can look at and try to work with.
It's a project.
But yeah, it's a project.
It's a project that I think Doug Peterson's willing to sign up for, especially considering he's not going to be relying on Mac Jones. Mac Jones knows what he's doing. He's going there to be a backup. Chiefs re-signing defensive tackle Chris Jones to a 5-year deal. He's going to be guaranteed $95 million over the first 3 years of this contract. This is an outstanding job by Kansas City because, look, that defense carried them to the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl.
He may he really influenced Brock Purdy on a couple of huge plays.
The biggest plays of the game. I can still, they're imprinted in my mind. But the touchdown throw to Deebo Samuel that went 2 feet over his head was because Chris Jones was in his face.
Yeah.
And then in overtime, the pass to Juwan Jennings on the 3rd and short where it was the flat route, and he threw it to Juwan Jennings and missed him, and Juwan had a walk-in touchdown. Chris Jones hit him as he threw it. It's like Chris Jones made some of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl.
Well, they asked him, "Do you want to resign?" And he said, "Yeah."
I can't believe you're going to run a lap before we get to halftime. How did that happen?
It was left there.
Juwan Jennings isn't even a
like,
Kansas City Chief. It's not even his name.
Yeah, I know.
You couldn't help yourself.
It was just low-hanging fruit.
Would you say Juwan sign?
Yeah. Juwan,
God, get the hell out.
What? No.
take a lap.
The Chiefs,
now.
the Chiefs didn't want to redo it last season when
How does this happen?
they had a sign and they stopped at the start of the season.
You might break a record today. You might break a record.
There were so many fan bases looking at Chris Jones not being a Chief next year and getting a little excited about it. Like everyone in the AFC was thinking, oh, at least we don't have to deal with Chris Jones next year on the Chiefs. Like they might be a little more gettable, right? And there were so many people in the NFC that are like, oh, well, if you get to the Super Bowl, at least Chris Jones won't be there again. He's gonna be there again.
Yeah. And you start going through the list of NFL free agents who are available this offseason, and you start thinking about where they all signed. Well, I mean, the place it makes the most sense for a player to sign is right where he is.
Yeah.
Like Chris Jones. I remember my brother asking me, he's a Chiefs fan. He's been a Chiefs fan forever. And he goes, dude, where is Chris Jones going to sign? I was like, well, if the Chiefs are smart, he signs there. I said, and frankly, if Chris Jones is smart, he signs there. He's like, oh, I don't think they can afford him. Salary cap goes up. I'm like, now they can. And he goes, no, I don't think they're going to afford him. I was like, well, here's the deal. Chris Jones doesn't want to leave Kansas City. I mean, it's basically you're printing your ticket to the AFC Championship game every single year with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And then on top of it, he's becoming a big-time star there.
And we have inside information from the marketing director of Kansas City Joe's Barbecue that Chris Jones loves Kansas City Joe's.
Yeah, he does.
And he's friends with Joe.
He's friends with the actual Joe, for crying out loud.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Trust us. We know.
Wow.
And by the
This
way,
also pissed me off yesterday or
Yeah.
this morning when I saw Chris Jones signing with the Chiefs because Eric Armstead and the 49ers couldn't come to terms.
yeah,
I'm like, how can you not figure it out with somebody who performed so well in the Super Bowl, who is a tentpole of the organization? How can you not figure something out to get something done with Eric Armstead?
They went with somebody different, Armstead.
Do you?
this is going to be a record-breaking game.
Like, I mean, it was so low. How could I not just pick?
Also, defensive tackle. Speaking of defensive lineman, Fletcher Cox retires. 6-time Pro Bowler in Philadelphia.
What do you got to say about his last name, TD?
What? Nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean, low-hanging fruit. Go on. Something about invisible
Listen,
pants.
I don't want to tug on that.
Is that what you want to say?
Yeah.
No, well, sort of, yes. As Fletch whispered something in my ear.
Well, listen, let's get to the meat of the issue here. with Fletcher Cox, he really is one of the foundational cornerstone pieces in Philadelphia. Jason Kelce on the opposite side of the ball, same thing, just retired as their long-term center. So all of a sudden, Philadelphia, 2 years ago, they're losing a Super Bowl, and frankly, their quarterback's outplaying Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl loss. And now you fast forward, and it looks like things are just falling apart in Philly.
And speaking of Fletcher's Cox, Fletch, your T levels, have they been checked? What? Is that not right? No? Seem fine.
We actually
Two laps?
I think we need.
I owe two right now.
We need to hire a referee. We need to hire a ref, like somebody who could throw, like, just tee you up, like.
Wait, like
that's technical.
Like, you're also
I
lucky
get
we
tossed.
do laps, because on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe, they have the douchebag jar for Jonas where he has to put like $10 in every time he says something.
And no, I'd go broke.
Dude, yeah, I mean, that would be his entire paycheck.
I know.
He wouldn't even be depositing. He'd just be endorsing checks and dropping them in the jar.
You're up to 2.
Check
Let's see if
this
you
out.
can knock any off with this.
Check this out. Call number 5 right now. 877-767-4760. You're going to win one of these pairs. I don't know which one we said.
How about Shamrock?
Okay, Shamrock. There we go. Shamrock tickets. St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Tradition returns as an authentic Irish celebration takes over the streets of San Diego's historic Gaslamp District on March 16th. SanDiegoShamrock.com for tickets and info, or call number 5 right now. Meanwhile, Tyreek Hill, superstar wide receiver, involved in another kerfluffle, this time out at Atlanta. He was at the Coca-Cola Roxy for a comedy show. It was Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to think who it was. So Kevin Hart, he's there. Tyreek Hill is sitting down watching the show. A woman came up and grabbed him because she said, "You're sitting in my seat."
Oh boy.
He got into a tussle.
Wait, he fought a woman at a comedy show?
I don't know if he fought her, but there was an argument. So, well, now there's a problem. Of course, there's a lawsuit that's pending. Of course. Yeah, this guy, man, trouble just follows him around. But some NBA scores. Milwaukee Dead did the Clippers 124-117. Houston Gun, the Kings 112-104. New and Orleans, the Hawks 116-103. Washington Fish Sandwich, the Heat 110-108. The
Ton of fish sandwich.
Washington Fish. The Acers Hardware, the Magic 111-97. New Jersey, the Beyonce, the Cavs.
Wow. You have not redeemed yourself at all.
120-101.
What on earth are you even saying?
It's New Jay-Z and Beyonce. New Jay-Z? New Jay-Z. That's what I was trying to go there.
Wait, who even played in this game?
It's the Nets and the Cavs.
What is happening?
The Laker plunked the Timberwolves 120-109.
Who doesn't love Kerplunk?
Right? Alan Thunderschwitz.
Dude.
Dershowitz.
So Fletch,
Is that
hang on.
Alan Dershowitz.
Fletch, so you were on the phone. This has gone horribly wrong.
Hang on, I got a good one.
Okay,
I got a good one. Here we go. Philadelphia felt up the Knicks. 79-73, which is the lowest scoring NBA game, I think, of the season. So shocking turn of events. How about that, everybody? That's
a
it.
bad segment, dude?
That's it. That's it.
You know what?
I felt really good about the whole thing.
I will say this. We should shave off one lap because you remember to do the ticket giveaway.
Okay, cool.
But you earn nothing back from that.
So how many laps do I have to do?
Dude, I mean, you might just be running the rest of the show. I remember there were
hold on.
At football
do my
practice-
laps count towards your miles?
God, I pray. Oh my God.
Why don't we do this? 3 laps during the break, or 1 lap right now?
Oh, bye.
There you go. Wow, you took off so fast. All right, the other news and notes that came across the wire yesterday. How about this? Broncos wide receiver. We haven't gotten to this yet. Jerry Jeudy traded to Cleveland. He goes to the Browns for a 5th and 6th rounder. So the Browns part with 2 late round draft picks. And all of a sudden, you have Jerry Jeudy underperformed in Denver, but still there was a lot of hope for his potential coming out of college. He joins Amari Cooper, David Njoku, that running back room, that offensive line room. Like, it feels like the offense is set. They're just waiting for Deshaun Watson to earn, I don't know, some part of the $230+ million they guaranteed him.
What's wild about the AFC West right now is that the Broncos and the Chargers kind of feel like they're both doing the same thing, which is salary dumping like crazy, just trying to get enough room on the cap for the next few years so they can have competitive teams, but not next year, right? It feels like both of them are kind of okay with just saying, oh, well, next year might be kind of rough. Now, the Chargers have a lot more in place than the Broncos do, so the Chargers will be more so. But the Broncos feel like they are completely punting on next season, trying to get cap space, draft picks, anything they can for the following years to be competitive once again against the Chiefs. And it sort of feels like the Chiefs are going to be able to walk their way to another division title, and who knows, probably another conference championship, probably another Super Bowl.
Hang on. There's a couple more teams in that division that could be viable here. All of a sudden, the Chargers, they could turn something around.
They're salary dumping. They're talking about potentially trading a bunch of different pieces like Mike Williams, Keenan Allen was even mentioned, Joey Bosa. Like, they're trying to just get rid of these expensive old contracts that they still have because they put themselves in a bad situation with veteran players and a lot of money.
Well, you can always, and this may have already had to have happened because we're talking about Wednesdays when they need to get under the cap. You could always restructure. So you can keep guys if you want to kick the can down the road. But Joey Bosa, often injured. Khalil Mack playing great, but older. Mike Williams, always hurt. He's missed, I think, 25+% of his potential starts.
The list I saw was that Keenan Allen was going to be the least likely to be traded, but all those other guys you mentioned are most likely gone.
Yeah, or cut. Yeah, like Eric Armstead. I mean, sometimes there's no market for trade. There's I don't think edge rusher in this year's draft is a deep class, but there's a lot of teams that are going to wait to try their luck at the draft before they sign anybody. And so now you'll have quality free agents just hanging out there. I mean, Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa could be released this offseason. You could, if you're a general manager or a player personnel director, just wait to see who's floating out there and ready to sign with you.
Oh, you know who I saw an article about?
Who?
It got me really excited. Jack Browning. San Diego State punter / field goal kicker from last year. Remember, he set the record for the longest one. I guess he really impressed a lot of teams at the combine.
He did. He had a good showing. He had a really good showing.
So he might be drafted this upcoming.
Dude, I'm
NFL
so
draft.
Pumped for him and Matt Araiza.
We got to get him on like next week, probably.
Yeah, it'd be good. That would be really good. Yeah, let's set that up with Jack. Also,
we should have a contest.
What kind? You mean a kicking contest?
Yeah. A Browning making contest?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I just made it myself.
Good idea.
No, I was saying that. It's like I thought he was going to say that. That was not my fault.
No, you take a lap. You know how this works. A Browning making contest. You sick bastard.
I kind of want to do that though. It's a pretty good idea.
We're gonna have a brownie cook-off in honor of Jack Browning. Maybe the day he comes on, we'll be like,
that's what I'm saying.
Jack.
Right,
Before we get to the interview, we're gonna send you samples.
We have to have him come in.
So we figured it out. Fletch, sorry we made you run a lap. This was actually brilliant. The day Jack Browning comes on the show, we're gonna do a brownie contest between the three of us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then we're gonna have Jack judge based on how we describe the flavors.
Did you see my spin move?
Yeah, that was actually a good spin move.
Wow. Wait, I did a spin move as I left the first time. Actually, it was maybe it was the third time.
I commented on the speed you got out of here. I was like, geez, this guy is motoring. Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll.
I mean, this show is becoming a little bit more athletic as the years go by. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. But before that, we were just talking about Jack Browning, Aztecs football. How about Aztecs hoops? They're on their way to the Mountain West Conference tournament. That's coming up in Vegas very shortly. Mark Ziegler's been covering the team all year long for the San Diego Union Tribune. He's jumping on the show next. But speaking of athleticism, pure, unadulterated athleticism. Where did it start for TD? I'll tell you. His weight loss.
That's right. You know what? Shedding 31 pounds, it's made me light. It's made me agile. And you can tell as I just saunter. It's like, I don't know what the word is. Around the building. And I'm so out of sorts because of how much weight I've lost. Okay.
It's true.
31 pounds in 8 weeks' time. That is actually a legit stat. So as we joke about this, we, goof around about losing weight. It's because we're just having fun with it. And they make it fun. SDFatLoss.com. Go there. Wayne, Chloe, they'll walk you through the whole thing. They'll keep you accountable the whole way. They will have fun with you because, look, not only does it feel better to lose weight, it does feel better when you have somebody there the whole time holding your hand and making it a good time for you.
And do it with friends or with a wife or a spouse or a buddy or an uncle or a grandparent that needs to lose weight too, because that was our experience. It helped when you encouraged each other, shot each other text messages, hey, look, the scale says I've lost another 2 pounds. And I've done no exercising because you don't have to exercise to lose weight on this plan.
No, you don't exercise. It's not like one of these fad diets where you have to count points or calories or you have to take some medical injection. You don't do any of that because you don't want to do that because, look, you're just going to yo-yo diet. You're going to lose a bunch of weight and then you'll gain it right back as soon as you stop whatever the fad diet is. That's not how SDFatLoss.com works. No. They want you to keep the weight off. So not only will you lose weight quickly, but you keep it off, and that's the most important part. But maybe you're going, look, I want to jump in on a diet, but I don't know. What if it doesn't work? Look, they offer a money-back guarantee, okay? So if you don't lose any weight in the first 10 days, you're going to get your money back. Now, here's the catch. You're not going to get your money back. You're going to lose weight. You will lose weight. I promise you that. We all lost it. I mean, in the first 10 days, I think I was down 10 plus pounds. It's absolutely incredible. It just melted off as soon as we started going here. So do yourself a favor. Make yourself feel better. Make your life live or last a little longer, because I promise you're going to add some time to it if you drop those unwanted pounds. SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Mark Ziegler over at the UT had some not really encouraging things to say about the Aztecs. We're going to talk to him next.
This update is presented by Indeed.com. Starting off with San Diego State. They fall Friday night to Boise State 79-77. They go to the Mountain West Tournament as the 5 seed. They got 4 seed UNLV this Thursday at 2:30. Mark Ziegler is going to join us in just a minute to talk about this team. In the NFL, quarterback Russell Wilson signing a 1-year deal with the Steelers. Baker Mayfield staying with the Tampa Bay Bucks on a 3-year deal for $100 million. Patriots finalizing a trade for quarterback Mac Jones to head over for the Jags. That trade becomes final on the 13th. And in baseball, Padres are wheels up for Korea in a couple days as they prepare for the first game of the year on March 20th against the Dodgers in Seoul, South Korea. They'll leave on Wednesday. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Yeah, still on little Pippen watch here. Little Scotty Pippen watch is what I meant to say from the Big Bear Eagle Cam. Looks like Shadow Dad just hanging out on 3 eggs still. So starting to get a little nervous here. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We only want little eaglets. And I have not seen those yet. We also still have a pair of tickets to give away. We gave away those Shamrock tickets a little earlier, but we have Slightly Stoopid tickets with special guest Dirty Heads. They're going to be playing August 24th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info at livenation.com, or just keep listening for your chance to win. Meanwhile, San Diego State, our Aztecs men's basketball team. Look, they did not really finish the season here on the highest note. Okay, it looked like they were struggling a little bit. Played against Boise State, which was back and forth. It was mayhem. But look, to me, my personal opinion, they needed to finish this thing on a high note. I mean, they needed it to be on the upswing here, and I think that makes most people a little nervous, including Fletch here, who is our resident college basketball expert. He follows everything, the ins, the outs, always looking at what's going on there. But man, oh man, the Union Tribune releases an article. This is the headline. 3 thoughts. Boise State, San Diego, or Boise State 79, SDSU 77. Sputtering Aztecs cling to hope as Mountain West tourney nears, which is troubling, right? You don't want to ever hear the sputtering Aztecs when you're going into the tournament here, when you're getting close to tournament time. Mark Ziegler wrote that article from the San Diego Union Tribune. He joins us right now. Mark, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Except I really felt like the Aztecs, they really needed to end on a high note. But I mean, as you're looking at this team, and I'll ask you right at the get-go, is this the same feeling you had going into postseason play here as you had last year, or where you just had higher hopes last year?
Yeah, it's completely different. Last year's team had its down moments, but they came in the end of January, in the middle of January, end of January, and they kind of self-corrected them. And all through February, they were really, really good. They lost one game. It was at Boise State. They were leading late, and Max Rice, everybody's favorite guard and son of a coach, banked in a 3 in that game. The other night he hit a half-court shot in overtime, and he scored like 12 straight points, and it was just insane. And it was kind of a fluky thing, and that's the only loss they had. And even in that loss, they played really well. And you just got the feeling like, okay, this team's together. If they get good matchups in the tournament, they could do something. And that's what happened. This team, has had good moments, but it's been up and down, up and down. They haven't won more than 2 straight since the first part of January, and they just can't get any kind of forward momentum going. And so that's kind of the concern. They can't string together 3, 4, 5 really good games. Now, the Mountain West tournament gives them an opportunity, and so maybe it will happen here the next week. Basketball is a weird thing. They're 20-year-old kids. It can flip in a moment. But as things stand right now, it's not the best kind of form to be heading into the postseason with.
For sure. And the feeling I get, Mark, when I watch this team, and Dutcher said it on the coaches show a couple weeks ago, is that if they just make their threes, all these problems go away. But last year's team, and when we look at the comparison, even though it's probably not fair to do, I felt like last year they didn't have the guy to go get the go-to bucket, right? It was a collection of parts. They had the deepest bench in the world, and that's why they were able to go so far. This year, it feels like you have that guy, but you don't necessarily have the surrounding guys. Like Jaden Ledee has been so good, but whether it's been Lamont Butler or Micah Parrish getting a little cold from three, it just feels like it's a lot more shallow of a team this season. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the guys they lost off of last year's team, so they lost 5 guys. They all kind of, and I wrote about this before the season, and one of my questions was, can you replace what each of these guys brought? Nathan Mensa's, rim protection. And Matt Bradley made some tough shots in key spots. If you had to get a one-on-one perimeter guy, he could do it. Adam Seiko with the threes. Key shots for defensive versatility. When you play a team like Nevada, who's guarding the 6'6" point guard in Keenan Blackshear, well, that would be key shot. He'd go out there and guard him and shut him down the stretch. And then AG, Glickorope, Mr. Glue Guy and Mr. Everything to the team. Energy, just just can't even put he's so many intangibles, couldn't put a finger on or say exactly what he did, but he was probably the most important player of the team. He's gone too, and I'm not sure they replaced any of those things. Yes, they're better offensively in the post with Jaden Ledee, but they don't have a lot of those other things. And so I think that's where this team struggles at times. It's still a very good team. I think you have to give them a lot of credit for the defense they're playing without a rim protector. They're playing a high level of defense without a natural shot blocker, and that's really impressive. It's really easy to do when you have a shot blocker erasing all your mistakes behind you. When you don't, and you still have those kind of metrics, that's impressive. But offensively, they've really slipped in the last few weeks, and really are struggling, and they just can't shoot. And they should have better shooting numbers because they're open shots because of all the attention that he's getting. So, like you said, unless they can flip a switch and start making some threes, and that could happen. It happened in a 3-game stretch in January and early February this year, and then they went cold again. But if they can get that going, they could win some games.
Mark Ziegler joining us. San Diego Union Tribune covers the Aztecs hoops team, has all season long and for many years now. Mark, you made comparisons all across the history of this program, comparisons to last year in this newest article. And I'm an optimist, but I do like facts. And sometimes when I get facts, it can sway my opinion sharply. And I think you really laid it out well. This team is having a tough time from perimeter. This team has a hard time starting games. So the question I'm arriving at is, what should we expect? So March Madness about to kick off here, or tip off, I should say. What should we expect? Is this a team that bows out real early? Or, is there potential for a run? Can you see that potentially happening for the Aztecs?
Well, if you look at last year's team, they did not play well in their first game, right? They were playing Charleston. It was a kind of a didn't have a lot of flow to it. They looked nervous, and then Micah Parrish hits a 3 late that kind of secures the win. And you could see like this huge weight lifted off their shoulder because they hadn't won a first round game in forever, right? And it was almost like they were unshackled. And then they get the break with Furman beating Virginia. Furman's completely emotionally spent, and they blow out Furman. And then they just kind of start rolling from there. Now they're like, well, we're playing with house money. We're relaxed. And they just got this glint in their eye. They need that kind of moment. But I think the key in all of this is what happens on Thursday in the first round of Mountain West tournament they're going to play UNLV in Thomas and Mack for the second time in 9 days. Now, the other night, last Tuesday, they lost by 4. It was really a one-possession game. They shot like 28%. They shot 22% from 2, which is just insanely bad.
Gosh.
They opened the game 0 of 13 and 2 of 23, and they still had it a one-possession game. If they can shoot a little bit better and win that game, it does 2 things. It gives them a little bit more confidence, number one, because they're winning a true road game, something they haven't been able to do this year against a good team. And then the second thing it does is it probably secures that 5 seed for them. And the difference between a 5 and a 6 is you're going to get shipped, the potential to get shipped, but the type of opponent is different. You're going to get a mid-major type opponent with a 5-12 game. And the 6-11 game, you're going to get a power conference opponent, and probably a pretty good power conference team, a team that's like surging into the tournament and made it, maybe even played in the play-in game, so has some confidence from that first game and won a game already in the tournament, understands the field of the tournament. And you want to avoid that. They played 2 6-11 games and got blown out in both, North Carolina State and Syracuse a few years ago. We all remember that. So that, to me, is the key. If you lose to Vegas, on Thursday, you probably fall to a 6, and then that's not good. If you could hold on to that 5, maybe even sneak into the 4, you get a much better first round opponent. You win your first game. You're feeling good about yourself. And now you're off and running just like last year.
Yeah, confidence is everything. Coach Dutcher has been talking about that. Just seeing the ball into the hoop, sometimes it makes that 1 foot putt feel like a 1 foot putt again, instead of staring at the hole and just being like, wow, we just can't make this shot. So hopefully that builds, especially with an early win and maybe good seeding in the tournament. Hey, Mark, we appreciate the time as always. We'll do it again real soon, bud.
Yeah, no problem. I'll talk to you guys.
There he goes. Mark Ziegler, great writer, Union Tribune. Look, high hopes for the Aztecs this season. They haven't done anything that encourages you to believe that they're going to make the same run as last year.
Mhm.
However, I will say this. We didn't expect a national championship bid last year either.
That is true.
And so getting hot at the right time, it's always that old cliche. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's wild that they do, like in these games, these close losses, whether it's on the road or on Friday night at the Ajas Arena, it's like if they just made a couple more threes, they win the game.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's just like they do everything right. Mark talked about the defense. That's been the most impressive part about this team last year, because you lose Nathan Mensah, who's like the best defensive player in the country over the last several years. And they've still been this good defensively according to the metrics. It's just if they make threes, all of a sudden they're no longer 151st in the offensive metrics like they have been. Remember, that's them falling from top 50 early in the season offensively.
Yeah.
So it's like if everything just surrounds that one little thing, if they can make threes in this tournament and then the following tournament, they're a really effing good team.
It's the road record, man, that causes concern for me. A little bit of pause there. We do have slightly stupid tickets, by the way. We're going to be giving away here in the next segment.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're damn
So,
right.
yeah, if you want slightly stupid tickets, they're going to be with special guest Dirty Heads. That's August 24th, Northland Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info at livenation.com, or just keep listening.
Yeah, we have bottom of the barrel coming
Can
on
you guys
this.
see this real
But
quick?
before
See,
we get to that,
What?
Fletch
That's
is holding up his phone again.
plus $120.
Go ahead.
And then
Scroll.
the very next one, plus $100.
Well,
Can you see this?
Look
Oh,
at his screen. What
This is better. I'm sorry.
Well,
Because
I
on
mean,
Prize
actually,
Picks, on Prize Picks this weekend, the boy was 2 for 2 before all the MMA stuff, in which I went like 0 for 5. But with Prize Picks, both on the Aztecs game on Friday night that ended up being a loss, and then a bevy of professional basketball games over the weekend, I was able to make over $250 this weekend just with the Prize Picks app. Use it today. Download it from the App Store. Prize Picks, and use promo code Fletch. Get a first deposit match up to $100. And when you start playing around with the demons, things get a little spicier. So even like a 4 pick'em entry, you're able to get plus crazy statistics, because with that one, Darion Trammell, 4.5 assists in that one. That was a demon, and I was able to get plus money on the side of it, because with Prize Picks you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. So if you want to be like me and start winning on some Prize Picks, if you think you have the skills to play daily fantasy sports at the highest level on America's favorite fantasy sports platform, get on over to Prize Picks today. Download the app, use promo code Fletch, get a $100 first deposit match. prizepicks.com/Fletch for a $100 first deposit match. You can start winning just like me. I'll be posting up those results a little later today on my Instagram at Fletch Sports. Check it out there and download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code Fletch.
Slightly Stupid tickets and bottom of the barrel coming up next.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Monday. We're wrapping this thing up. We got bottom of the barrel in just a second. A couple of stories to slate your thirst before we hand it off to Colin Coward and the Herd, San Diego Sports 760. We do have one last giveaway. Okay, so if you want those slightly stupid tickets, just hang on loosely and never let go. How about that? That's
those lyrics?
No. That's
What?
from
38 Special.
38 Special. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, one of the most iconic album covers there.
Oh, incredible.
So I just read this tweet that I think we all knew, but it's weird when it all gets put into like a little amount of characters. I'm just going to read this to you guys. The Padres are set to field a lineup of all shortstops. Yes, you read that correctly. If Jackson Merrill makes the team as a regular center fielder, the Padres could regularly field a lineup with a converted shortstop at every single position other than catcher.
I thought we should remedy that.
So left field, Jerickson Profar, converted shortstop. Center field, Jackson Merrill, converted shortstop. Right field, Fernando Tatis Jr., converted shortstop. Third base, Manny Machado, converted shortstop. Shortstop, Ha-Sung Kim, converted shortstop. Played second last year, back to shortstop this year. Second base, Xander Bogaerts, converted shortstop. First base, Drake Cronenworth, converted shortstop.
Dude,
I'm in.
it sounds like the start to a joke. Like, what do we do with all these shortstops? We build a team. That's our starting nine.
Can any of them pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cronenworth has had time on the mound.
Oh, dude, this is just I honestly I can't. I don't know what to say.
Speaking of time on the mound,
Yeah.
the cornhole team that we are assembling,
Ooh,
I mean, strong.
Yeah.
Because of mounds.
Well, give this a look. That's the picture we showed you earlier.
Yep. All right. No
Yep.
further
Those
explanation
are a
needed.
couple mounds, and we're not talking about the bars, people. I wrote a tweet that I thought was so funny last night when Russell Wilson got signed.
Your Bo Jackson tweet I actually thought was great this weekend.
I thought that was good too.
And it didn't really get that much love, right?
It doesn't matter.
I thought it was fantastic.
I write these tweets for me. This is the one from this weekend. The Steelers just won a haunted mansion with 12 bathrooms at a foreclosure auction. Somewhere Arthur Smith is patting a door frame going, well, it's got good bones.
I get it.
Russell Wilson, he's got 12 bathrooms at his home.
Yes.
Look, the point is the Steelers signed Russell Wilson, and they are on the hook for $1.2 million. The Denver Broncos are paying him $38 million. So Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers front office, Arthur Smith, offensive coordinator.
Yeah, no
Well done,
doubt.
well played.
No doubt.
TD, do you want a Travis Dale job?
What am I have
For
to do
tomorrow's show, can you just find us 12-bedroom homes in the Pittsburgh area?
Oh, I'm already looking them up.
Oh, nice.
12 bathroom homes.
12 bathrooms, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, 12 bedrooms. It sounds like it would be hard to do, but they're out there. 12 bathrooms to 3 bedrooms. Tough.
That is tough.
There may be only one, and it may be in Denver, and that's it.
Did he build that house?
I think he did. It's a custom.
So there was a guest on Colin's show last week talking about all the property that Russell Wilson has like bought in Denver because he thought, he was going to be there the rest of his life.
Sure, yeah.
And he's been trying to sell it, and there's no buyers because he went and bought the most expensive property in Denver, and there's not that many like 100 millionaires just walking around looking for property in Denver.
Shocker.
Yeah,
Shocker.
I mean, it's hopefully it goes better in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
He's getting $38 million this year, so
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. That's cool.
Goes a long
cool.
way in the Rust Belt. All right,
Just
I'll
go.
tell you.
Why? That was so good. Gosh, I'm like, Matt, I didn't think of it. God, that's the Rust Belt.
What you got for us for bottom of the barrel?
Bottom of the barrel. These are actually put in here by Rich, which some good ones. Skajoring. Have you ever heard of this before?
I have. That's the dogs pull you while you're on.
Or horses. It's like skiing rodeo. Ski rodeo.
There was a Cuba Gooding Jr. movie about it.
There was a Cuba Gooding Jr. movie about ski rodeo.
I think it's called Snow Dogs.
Snow Dogs. It was actually about the Iditarod.
What? Yeah, but that. Yeah.
Sorry, I just got back from my lap.
What do you thought that was ski rodeo?
No, it's different but similar.
No, it's not at all.
So,
It's not it
Dude,
at all.
I want you to look up Skajoring. It's the coolest thing ever.
It is absolutely awesome and also terrifying.
Yeah, it's down busy roads. Like there's cars parked on either side, and then you just have horses pulling people on skis.
But they're shooting like at targets. We should try it.
I mean, I'm not opposed.
Wow.
I don't think I'm going to be any good at it.
Yeah, no, but I think it'd be cool to do
We
once.
weren't good
or
at women's lacrosse either. We tried that out.
actually, you know what we do? Let Fletch try it first.
What?
Let's see what.
I'll die.
Well, it'd be funny to see you could, just drag down the road by horses.
Over the weekend, I had an idea for Travis Tries Tuesdays.
Is it the tattoo again?
No.
Okay, thank
You're
God.
just gonna put him on skis and tie him to me
It's
and let me
related
pull
to
him.
something that happened on Friday. We may not be able to get this off the ground. I'll explain it to you after the show.
Okay.
Also, Colin Coward coming up in just a few moments, and we got to give away these slightly stupid tickets.
Yeah.
So, what time should we have people call in at?
8:57.
8:57.
Thank you to Mark Ziegler. Thank you to the Roadies, the Dogs, the Hangers, the Bangers,
So
Richie,
tired.
TD.
So
Thank you both. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Well, that's it.
8:57 in what is that? 2 minutes from now?
Right. 877-767-4760. We'll talk to you tomorrow.